everybody. Welcome to episode 105 of Games My Mom Found. I am Mike Albertin, and who's losing their childhood with me tonight?
Michael Kokiri Hughes.
Helena.
Every time.
I always think I'm going to say something clever, and I even plan ahead, but it just never happens.
I thought you might say, hey, listen, so I didn't want to use it.
Oh. No.
Well, we are here to talk. Well, we are here to celebrate 2-year anniversary that the show's been going on, and we are here to talk about. I figure since it's 2 years anniversary, we should talk about a very special game. So we're going to be talking about The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time.
Woo!
I had it pulled up, and now I can't find 1998.
1998.
Okay, man, it's been a long time.
Mm-hmm. We don't talk about that.
I don't know if I played this game in 98, but I know I probably played it in 99. I played it a lot, that's for sure.
The 3DS version came out in 2011. Even that feels like so long ago.
Yeah, honestly.
The 3DS version is a better game.
It's what I played this time.
I never played the 3DS version. I will always be a Nintendo 64 loyalist.
Okay. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I played the GameCube version of the 64 just because 64 emulation is not good. So, I mean, there's no real difference between the GameCube or it's the same exact thing.
Yeah, it's just got prettier models.
I wouldn't go that far.
The spiritual stones are extra shiny in the GameCube version.
Oh, that because they didn't. I mean, Link still looked ugly. Nothing was really good looking. So, the 3DS version where they clean up the graphics a lot.
Yeah, it's pretty game, prettier.
I played the 3DS version before, but for this, I didn't want to pull it out because I didn't know where it was at first. So I just played it on GameCube.
I wasn't sure what I wanted to play because I have both of the versions that are on GameCube. I'm like, I could play one of those. They're pretty good. And then I got the Slingshot in the 3DS version. Remember, they had the gyroscope aiming. And I'm like, oh, never mind. I'll stick with this. It's just so convenient.
So I have never seen this game as a really dark game, even though Helena has other thoughts about that.
Yep.
I mean, I guess I just never really thought about it because, like, this game starts off. Well, I guess you're an orphan too to start with, which I never.
You're an orphan after your mom died, saving you from the Hyrulean Civil War by bringing you into the Kokiri Forest and giving you to a tree.
I mean, that just sounds. They don't really say. I mean, they don't really say a lot of that in this game, do they?
Mike, they sure do. It's in the prologue.
Man, I guess I just don't read when I play this game. I don't remember any of this.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I knew about the Civil War thing, but I think it never really put together he was an orphan till like maybe 10 minutes ago when I really thought about it just now.
Yeah.
I just never gave it that much thought, I guess.
Yeah, so Link is an orphan boy who's brought into this forest of children who remain permanent children. However, he is outcast because he's Hylian and never accepted and bullied mercilessly, but no, not dark at all.
Yeah, I mean, even like when the game starts, you can't even go see the tree that you're summoned to because one of the assholes bullies won't let you through unless you have a sword and shield.
Mido's such a dick.
Yeah.
I love Mido, but yeah, he's a dick.
I mean, it's got to be kind of traumatizing in the idea too that if you're a kid forever that you never grow up. Like, seems a little weird too.
Well, I mean, that's because we have the concept of aging. I'm sure for someone who remains a child forever, it seems perfectly normal and fine.
Yeah, good point.
I guess they don't really see a whole lot of other people outside the forest, so.
Yeah, and if other people wander into the forest, if they're a child, become a skull kid, or if they're an adult, become Stelphos? Is that what it's called?
I forgot that's what happens to people. So every skull kid was a child that crept into the place?
Yes.
Okay, that I had completely forgotten this, even though we talked about Majora's Mask back in episode like 20-something. Completely forgot that.
Yeah.
I think that's another reason why you think this one isn't quite as dark is because that one is so messed up. Like, in comparison, this seems like nothing.
Well, this is more hidden under layers and layers that I didn't think about, I guess. Because it wasn't...
I look forward to making this game dark for you.
I'm okay with that, because I still enjoyed this game, so it doesn't...
It's an amazing game, yeah.
It really is. Oh, there will be spoilers for Ocarina of Time, of course, but you should know that by now. That's what we do. In case someone, listening to this for the first time, I should say it. I mean, it's only a 22-year-old game. I mean, somebody might be offended.
If someone hasn't played it yet, I am so severely jealous that they're playing it for the first time ever.
It probably wouldn't be a good experience, though.
Excuse me?
I mean, if you play this for the first time and you play this on the 64, I don't think it'd be the best experience like what we had when we were younger.
I refuse. I do not accept that. No.
I got irritated with this game sometimes because of the old style stuff, controls. But then again, I'm a cheater gamer, so.
At least it didn't come out in 2002.
And another question, like the random skeletons that you fight in Hyrule Field, are those supposed to be the dead people from the Civil War? Did they ever say?
I don't recall them ever saying that. However, I think that given the lore of all the dead people that I'm definitely going to get into when we go to the Spirit Temple, that would be a totally acceptable explanation for them.
I know when I first played this game, I thought it was dead people from the war and Link to the Past, but this is long before the timeline was ever, published. But I also, again, I was thinking that these games, were in consecutive order when they're not, because this is the game that splits everything. Ugh. I don't know if I want to go there. But like, even it's just like, let's talk about the tree thing. I mean, I guess it is kind of weird how he just gets the tree is his guardian or something, and he gets Navi. Oh, did he turn of age, and that's why he gets Navi, right?
No.
Oh,
I'm so sorry.
I'm fine. I don't. My memory of this game and like the storyline is not really good. I think when I play this game, I just play through it. I don't pay enough attention.
Okay.
The Kokiri get fairies, right? And he didn't get one because he's not.
Yes.
One of them? Right.
Yes. He was granted Navi because of oh gosh, what is it's like the awakening of Ganondorf. The tree, the Great Deku Tree, saw that Ganondorf had awakened, and he was like, yes, I think that this is the chosen child who by prophecy is going to defeat Ganondorf, so I'm going to grant him this fairy to help him with his journey and also test his courage to see if he would be able to wield the Triforce of Courage. So that is why Navi is dispatched to go to Link.
Tell him to climb inside my mouth and kill a giant bug.
Queen Goma? Yeah.
I like Goma for some reason.
So my backstory with this game is that this is a video game that got me into video games. My older brother was a gamer, and when this game came out, I was 7. And I would go hang out in his room and watch him play it. And I was absolutely obsessed, in love. I credit most of my personality traits and my gayness to this game. I've played it so many times in my life that I got the Great Deku Tree down to 15 minutes playtime and I could beat it.
Wow.
I'm obsessed with it.
Nice. I am nowhere near that level of good. I just like the Deku Tree. I always said Deku, and I know Deku is wrong. But
yeah, I mean, it's never spoken, so who knows?
I trust Helena more, though, than she probably knows how to say.
You know what? It's like when you learn how to pronounce things by reading them and you never hear the pronunciation. Like the word licorice, I always thought that was pronounced lysorice because I read it in a book and didn't hear it out loud. And then I was like, oh, that makes way more sense. So I'm willing to accept any pronunciation of any of these.
Okay. Good, I'll be saying Deku Tree from now on. So, but I like the tree. Like, I think it's a good intro dungeon. It's very it does a good job of teaching you how the game plays and giving you enemies that aren't that threatening. Besides the damn Skulltulas that really irritate me. But so I'm a big fan of everything of how that dungeon is. Like, I think it's it's a little weird that you're inside a tree trying to kill a bug, but all I could think of was Final Fantasy Mystic Quest that you're trying to help the tree. So, I mean, there is that. Someone got that joke.
That game that everyone's played.
I love that game, man.
It's fine.
I don't know about that, but I love that game. But that's neither here nor there. But that's what I always think of whenever I have to go in a tree and save a tree, even though it should be this game. But I do want to, I guess, so the whole idea is that Ganondorf ended up poisoning him, or poisoning the Great Deku Tree because he wouldn't give him the emerald, I think it is.
Yeah. Okay,
I should know these names. Kokiri Emerald, something Ruby, and something
Goron.
Sapphire.
Sora.
The Goron Ruby and the Sora Sapphire.
I didn't read during this playthrough. I mean, in case that's not, I click. No reading. I just played the game.
Wow. Okay.
The story was in my head. I'm like, oh, it's all in my head. I don't need to read and pay attention for this. And I'm like, maybe that wasn't the best idea. So that's my conclusion.
Yeah. So in the Deku Tree, you get to use the slingshot, and that's your first big weapon. And you load it up with Deku nuts, and that inspired me to make a slingshot out of a fallen branch, and I still have it.
Nice.
Wow, awesome.
Did I become good at wielding it? No. Will I continue to use it? Yes.
Hey, it's still impressive, especially the fact you have it this long, because you moved multiple times, and so.
Yeah, I cannot tell you enough how obsessed I am with this game.
You have the tattoos on your body, so that kind of gives it away.
I do. I have the spiritual stones on my right arm.
So.
Yeah.
Hey, I give you props.
Oh, thank you.
It is cool, by the way. Never mind. Where I was going to go with that, but what I do want to say is that because I think the whole idea is that Ganondorf is he's trying to get the three jewels that you end up getting as a kid because he's trying to get to the sacred realm, I think it is.
Yes.
Okay. And the way that this game kind of guides you along, I think it's also well, hard for me to exactly say because I know I know almost all this game by heart where to go. So it's I just kind of go. I don't think about whether the game is really telling me what to do. I just know what to do and I just go do it. So because it's been so many years and I didn't read anything this time. So, but I do want to talk about Queen Goma because I didn't know this until many years later. But Queen Goma is a boss from the first game.
Yeah, it's a recurring boss. Been in several at this point.
I did not know that.
Yeah, Goma's in the first game. Goma's in Hyrule Warriors, but that doesn't count.
Link's Awakening, Ocarina of Time, the Seasons games, Wind Waker, and Four Swords Adventures.
Okay, Link's Awakening doesn't really count because it's part of the shadow boss at the end.
Yeah, well.
So I'm going to just stain that thought. I know what you're talking about. I love Link's Awakening.
Zelda loves their bosses with the big giant eye.
Because it's obvious.
But they really do. That eye is very prolific within the Zelda series.
Oh, Goma's also in the Wand of Gamelon and Faces of Evil.
Talk about things that don't count.
I really want to play them, Mike. One day.
You can go ahead and play them, Mike. That's cool. Don't put them on the show.
I think even the fight with Goma is cool. How it really it makes you when you first walk in that room, this giant room, you have to look all the way up at the top of the screen, and you'll see this eyeball looking at you. And I think that is so cool to kind of show you all the 3D effects and teach you how to. If you haven't figured out Z targeting yet, it makes you figure out Z targeting. I think too, and aiming.
Mm-hmm.
It's very video game thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you get to hear Navi say, "Hey, listen," 20 times.
Oh my!
It used to drive me nuts as a child, but now as an adult, every time I hear it, I tear up a little bit.
I didn't hear it much in this game.
Uh-huh.
No, I actually played with sound. I actually had sound.
I was gonna say, did you have your music on?
Yeah, no, I did actually. Cause I like music of this game because again, it's one of the games that came from before. And any game before a certain time, I listen to it. The games after a certain time, I don't listen to it. Don't ask me why. I don't know, but so I did listen to this a lot. I had no problem with that. I thought, it didn't really seem that noticeable that she said, "Hey, listen." I did ignore her all the time, but it felt like it never really happened. Maybe because I was playing the GameCube version. I don't know, but I didn't feel all the time.
Or it's so ingrained you don't even pay attention to it anymore.
Probably. Learn to tune it out.
The one I heard most was when she says "look" when you target onto an enemy because it sounds like she's calling Link Luke. Luke. It's not my name.
Yeah, that's true. I also remember the Dekus in front of the Deku Scrubs, in front of Goma's lair, and you have to hit them in a certain order because Zelda loves puzzles, and so you have to hit them 2, 3, 1. 23 is number 1.
Number 1.
Yep.
I had to write that down because I couldn't remember it.
I'll never forget it.
I can't remember. I have a hard time remembering little things like that for some stupid reason. I'm not good with little codes and stuff in games. I just can't remember them. But I do like that. Again, it's teaching you how to use the shield and block things. I love how this game is constantly teaching you things early in this game. I like when games do that.
It's like Mega Man X's intro, where it teaches everything you need to know.
Then you play Mega Man X2 and nothing's talking, the game just beats you down. But, I'm not salty about that game.
There's this stereotype for bisexuals where it's if you're gaming, do you use your shield or not? And bisexuals will always answer no.
That's interesting.
Yes. And I mean, I am living proof of that stereotype. But when you said use the shield, I was like, no.
You kind of, I mean, you have to use the shield for them, don't you? There's another way around it.
I mean, like you do. There are several boss fights where you have to use it. And like when you get the mirror shield later on in the game, when you're going to the spirit temple and you have to beat Twin Rova with the shield, like that's obviously like you got to do it. But if there's an option, I'm choosing no. Bare hands only. There
are options, I'm sure, because this game is broken as broken can be when some of the videos I saw. But
Mike, so help me God.
No, the glitches. There are so many glitches in this game that you can pull off that I didn't realize. It's N64. N64 is just full of ways to cut through things that they didn't plan for.
It was an early game. Cut it some fucking slack.
No, I'm not complaining. I don't use them because I wouldn't know how. But I was watching speedruns of this before we did this video, and I didn't realize how many glitches there were you can do in this game.
Oh yeah, you can just like jump through the layers of the game.
Well, I watched a video of 100% completion, but the guy didn't really do any dungeons. He would just like duplicate items and get stuff that way and certain things, and it was like really, really
that
strange.
Doesn't count.
I mean, he did some dungeon, mostly as Adult Link, though. It's very weird. Like, it just, I mean, sometimes, like, in, well, when we get to Jabba Jabba, I'll talk about that part. But there's just so many, it's interesting to me how many things are hidden in, or how many things you can do in this game if you know this game inside and out. But that's neither here nor there, because I would never do that. That's too much work.
Speedrunners have a lot of free time when it comes to the games that they run. It's like, that is what they do.
I also want to say that I love the way that every boss, like, it has a little, like, word above the boss name and how cool that looks to this day.
The boss subtitles.
I love that.
Mm-hmm. It's good stuff. The parasitic armored arachnid, Goma.
So then, I mean, so after you kill Goma, and you supposedly would have, saved the tree ends up dying anyway from Goma, I guess.
Well, the tree is like, well, I'm weakened, so now I'm gonna die. And then you now have to go back to all the people who already hate you and tell them that you killed me. So, haha,
yeah.
Good luck saving the world, chump.
So you go out, Mido is like, you killed the Deku Tree? And you're like, oh, I'm sorry. And then, we have to talk about Saria.
Saria, you mean?
I said what I said, Mike. So she is your childhood friend, and the light of your life with green hair, and she's so happy and so smiley, and she gives you your first ocarina, and then you yeet it into the water and take Zelda's instead because you ain't loyal. But Saria is a gem.
Her pink ocarina totally looks like just a lung that she ripped out of someone.
I have pink ocarina.
Yeah, the first one, the fairy one.
Brown.
Whatever.
It's pink.
How did I always seem brown all these years?
Are you colorblind?
And 64 textures.
I'm gonna Google this right now. I still see brown. I don't see pink.
It's you know what? We can move on.
But hey, Saria gives you the best song ever, though. I still love Saria's song. That is probably one of my favorite Zelda songs.
It's the best. It's so good.
Wait, that's something else. But it's just so good. Was it do?
Yep. I mean, kind of.
Again,
you're in the general vicinity of it.
My music ability is not the best. Let's say that.
So yeah, after you beat Queen Goma and you leave Saria behind in a very tearful goodbye, and then you go out to Hyrule Field and you meet annoyance number 2 in the game, Gabara.
Yeah.
I also never realized that he's supposed to be the Sage of Time, or the Sage that you never actually see in the game, besides the old fat guy. Like, you never actually talk to him. Like, you never rescue him or see him outside. That's what the owl is. Raul. I never put that together until a little bit ago.
Wait, nope. You think Cappy Gabby is Roru?
Yeah, or not? Is Rose the old guy with the big beard at the brown robe?
Yeah, the Sage of Light.
That's what the internet told.
I'm not sure I co-sign that theory, but I'm interested to learn more about it.
The YouTube video I watched, that's what they said. So that's all I got.
Must be right. Yeah, the internet wouldn't lie to you.
Of course not. To me, it made sense, so I just went with it. I didn't question it.
I can see him like being like a tool to Roru, like kind of like a messenger owl, but
Okay.
He's definitely a tool.
He's another thing, just like Navi, that like as an adult, I have so much appreciation for him.
He's a chatty Cathy every time you see him.
It didn't bother me this time at all. I remember as a kid it bothering me, and I remember hitting the wrong button, but this time I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. No issue whatsoever.
No, I still jam on the button like, okay, I know what I'm doing, shut up.
Yep.
The things that annoyed me when I played this game as a kid, none of them annoyed me this time.
Yeah.
Mm.
No, I agree with that. And then so you get out to Hyrule Field, and you run like hell to get to the castle, but you never make it there before the sun sets, and then you get stuck out in the field with all of the skeletons.
I always like those skeletons. And I found out Link to the Past takes place after this game, so it was not what I was always thinking.
Oh.
For those that were wondering about that from earlier, that did not matter. I wanted to say it. I mean, I always thought they were something. It probably was just a civil war, which I don't really remember ever reading about that civil war before. But then again, I don't read what people say in this game, so.
Yes.
Even as a kid, I never explored Hyrule Town. Like, I mean, I would go do the couple side quests that you can do that I cared about, but other than that, I never really, Helena showed me a video of something that happens later in the game that I had never seen before and still have yet to ever find this guard.
Oh, the Ghost Guard? Or the Dying Guard?
The Dying Guard, yeah.
Yeah.
I've never seen him.
Seen a couple times.
Well, I never ran in the alley before, except for the chasing the dog at night or something. One of the alleys, I think, right?
Yeah, you gotta take the dog into one of the alley houses to get a hurt piece.
Yeah, I've never seen the Dying Guard myself either, but I was watching theories and mysteries and all these different conspiracy videos yesterday because I love that shit. And came across this one, and it's apparently a remnant of an older version of the game where this guard is dying after a siege on the castle, and he gives you more information about how the siege went. But if you're not exploring and you're just focusing on the objective of the game, you're never going to see him.
Which is cool. When I was reading and I was watching that video, the idea that it's just there, but we never went there.
It is very interesting that you can see him die in it, because the game it's obviously dark, but it's indirect. You don't see people dying, you just kill monsters. But with that was really kind of wrenching to watch it.
Yeah, it was kind of depressing.
Yeah.
Especially the fact that he dies from fighting a fight that no one else is aware of.
Yeah, no one else in Hyrule Castletown knows what the hell's going on, but that's, again, jumping ahead. So when the sun finally rises when you're on Hyrule Field, you finally get to go into Castletown, and there you meet all these other Hylians that you've never experienced before, and you meet this adorable little girl named Melon, and her lazy father has fallen asleep in the castle, so she sends you on a mission to go wake him up.
I like her a lot.
She's adorable.
She's so cute.
I had forgotten a lot of this little part too. I had to remember parts of it, but I had forgotten so much of it for some reason. How to go. I remember I had to go in there, and I was I talked to him she didn't give me the item I need, and I forgot you had to go in and leave and go back in or something. Then she gives you the item.
Mm-hmm. She's got to be in the next screen over.
Yeah. Oh, and I had no problem with the sneaking part. I remember as a kid this being difficult. This was super, super simple.
It was, yeah.
I don't know if I had no patience when I was a kid, or something. Yeah, it's really easy.
I feel like the stakes are probably higher when you were a kid. Just not knowing that, if you got kicked out of the castle, you would be able to go back in again. I always panicked about that growing up, but it is easy.
I like this part a lot. I like how everything's kind of happy. You were told go see Zelda, she'll have something for you, or go. I can't remember if you go see Zelda or go to the castle, but you're going through all this stuff, and I just thought it was really interesting. This whole part, getting to the castle, sneaking past the guards, everything's all still kind of happy. I mean, you don't have any the dread that comes in this game later going on right now. Everything's just pretty normal.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I never really thought about that much until this time.
Yeah. Yeah, and when you get to the garden where Zelda is waiting, and she turns around and there's this swelling Zelda's lullaby in the background. It's beautiful.
Uh-huh. I like that song.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, and fun fact that nobody asked for, that's the song my wife walked down to it when we got married.
Nice.
Oh, that's so cute.
I give my wife a Zora Sapphire engagement ring when I proposed.
Oh my
That
god. Oh, those are so cute. I actually wanted a Zora Sapphire engagement ring for a long time, and then I was like, this is not practical for me. So I decided not to. But it is a beautiful ring.
All three of the jewels I think are really cool looking.
Mm-hmm.
As a kid, I didn't care, but now I'm like, these are kind of cool.
Yeah.
I remember very vaguely, but and like everything, like the whole castle stuff is just kind of cool. Like when you see Zelda, and like all of a sudden she's just like, you're the. I think did she say you remember like from a vision or a dream, or I don't remember what it was exactly.
Yeah, she'd had dreams about this coming event, and you were the fairy boy from her dreams.
Okay. I didn't read any of this.
As was established.
Yeah. I do like it. I did do the part where you get the bomb thrown at you, though. Where if you shoot one of the windows, the guy will throw a bomb out the window and try to blow you up.
Yeah, and then the other one, you could see Mario characters.
You can get
Mm-hmm.
I did too. I had to.
Yeah. So Zelda tells you, you're the fairy boy I saw in my dreams. There's this dark cloud that I see coming over Hyrule, and I believe it's this evil man. And then you look in the window and see Ganondorf, the main antagonist of the game, bowing down to her father. And that's you. She says, like, he has like a dark heart, and you can tell there's some bullshit about to happen. And she's like, I want you to get these spiritual stones, and so we can get into the Temple of Time and lock down the Triforce. And
yeah, it probably won't backfire.
Right? Yeah. Yep. And then she calls in my first gay awakening of this game, Impa.
I like Impa a lot too. It's a character that I know was in the first, like that Impa. The name is in the first Zelda game, I think, or Zelda 2. It's a recurring character again, like many things in Zelda.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, speaking of Zelda 2, a lot of the characters in this game are named after towns in that.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
all the sages are.
And
Because Mido is too.
Yep.
Oh, well, freaking Mido. I know, like, it's supposed to be because Zelda 2 in the timeline takes place after Ocarina of Time in one of the timelines, so that's why that's their reasoning for it or something. Even though that's not, I'm assuming the timeline was written way later, but
yeah, it's way more recent.
Yeah, it's not like I doubt they had a timeline when they were making these games.
They might have. I'm not sure. I wouldn't put it past them, to be honest. But Ocarina of Time takes place early in the timeline, and then depending on the way the game is beat, changes the timeline. Or I guess like the different, like if whatever. I'm skipping ahead. It is early in the timeline, and it changes other timelines.
Number 4 to put it in the timeline.
Yeah.
Impa was in the first Zelda game, but she's only named in the manual, according to this wiki.
And she was in like all the art I remember looking at when I was a kid of Zelda stuff, and she was also in the little board game or something, or puzzle I had too. I had something to Zelda. I loved Zelda when I was a kid, and I had something Zelda I remember. Maybe it was a coloring book. I had something Zelda though, but I don't know if I wish I still had. But that's neither here nor there. All right, so like everything with Hyrule Castle I think is interesting, and then you get sent off. Well, I forgot to do this. I went all the way to go see the Gorons before I realized that you had to go back to Kokiri Forest to get Saria's song. Otherwise, you can't progress with the game.
Mm-hmm. Navi tells you that.
But you have to listen to Navi for her to tell you that.
True.
If you don't read it, you don't have to worry about it. I just click, kept going. I'm like, I don't care what you got to say, Navi. I like when you fight your first Wolfos and all that, and I like kind of the foreshadowing when you have to get to the Forest Temple and to find Saria just sitting there and teaches you the song.
Oh, Wolfos. I was like, what?
What do I call them?
It sounded like you said Wiffles.
Oh.
Like a Wiffle ball?
Wolfos?
I heard Wolfos.
My brain hurt said Wolfos. Okay. Because I wouldn't be surprised. I think one thing is say something completely different. That wouldn't surprise me. I like the Wolfos fight. I like the whole idea of the dueling in this game. And it wasn't until I was watching a video that kind of talked about where the game was originally supposed to have more, the idea of it was like had something to do with dueling early on. And then they got excited about. And that's what they kept going. Something like that I heard. I can't give you more information than that because I don't know. But
nothing.
I got nothing.
So we have to talk about Kakariko Village. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Kokiri and Kakariko are always really confuse me. So Kakariko Village is the most fucked up area in Ocarina of Time.
Why do you say?
all the spooky shit happens in that village. They have a graveyard in the back. You've got the one guy in the front who hates his family and then goes into the Lost Woods to die.
Is that the Carpenter guys?
No,
Yeah.
God, what's his name?
He's the son of the carpenter, I believe.
Yes, the son of the carpenter. He sits in front of the tree in the front of Cocorico Village, and he tells you how much he hates his family. And then later on in the game, goes to the Lost Woods, and there's a quest to get the big Goron sword. And if you follow the quest, he goes into these Lost Woods. You have to go back to Cocorico Town to get a potion from his aunt or grandma. And then when you go back to give him the potion, one of the girls from Kakiri is there. And she's like, well, he wasn't from here, so he turned into Astolfos and he's gone.
I have never realized that part. Like, I remember, I knew that random guy in the woods because I've done the Goron quest before and I've seen it. But I didn't realize it was someone that hated his family and that's why he left. I thought he just got lost in the woods.
No, if you talk to him in Cocorico Village, he's like very clear.
I've never talked to him.
Wow.
I like him better in Majora's Mask when he's surrounded by all the baby chickens.
Yeah, he's so much happier there.
Majora's Mask is such a weird idea with this game because it's like so many of the same characters, kind of.
Yeah, it's something like they only had 6 months to make it, so they just reused a lot of assets or something.
Yeah, I can see that. I don't know. It's just one of those things that I thought was interesting how many characters are used from Ocarina of Time for Majora's Mask, and like how the idea all these people, some of these people did travel to Termina, but I guess Termina's not that far.
Yeah,
but that lends to the theory that we talked about in our Majora's Mask episode that Link is actually dying in the Lost Woods when Majora's Mask takes place, and this is what he's experiencing in his head as he goes through the stages of grief, and that he's reappropriated all these characters into new characters and given himself a task to save the town once again.
I believe that.
Yeah, after the depression of going through all of these events in Ocarina of Time and then having to be returned to a child and no one knowing that you saved the world, yeah.
That would really fuck with you.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think you'd be okay after all that. I mean, again, this game you go through a lot. I mean, I didn't really think about it as much as I am now, and I'm probably sure more dark things are going to come out that Helena's going to say soon. I never really, I mean, yes, this town has a graveyard, but I never really thought much about it being that dark, but it does have the Shadow Temple also right underneath it, or right by it.
Yeah.
Which is full of darkness, and you have Dom
Bottom of the
when
well.
he dies. Oh yeah, the well is, God, that is one weird-ass place when you go down there finally.
I've got a whole theory about the well and the Lens of Truth and Bongo Bongo, and I'm ready to lay it down whenever you guys are ready for it.
Okay, we'll get there.
Okay.
I think there's not a whole lot I want to say about the town. I mean, I never really thought the town
I've got
being that
something
dark.
I want to say about the
Yes,
town.
please say.
The worst side quest in the entire game, collecting all of the cuckoo ladies' fucking
That's
chickens.
I love that quest.
It's so tedious, though.
No, it's
You can fly with them.
Mm-hmm. You can't do that.
I had no problem whatsoever with that quest.
I mean, I don't have any problem doing it. It's just, like I said, it's tedious. It's annoying.
Have you done the big Goron quest?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That was the worst quest.
You don't call that tedious.
Yeah, and you were timed on everything, too.
Or did you get all 100 Scotulas? That's tedious.
Yeah, fuck.
That's not worth it after 30.
Speaking of that, though, the Skulltulas have to do with the other creepy place in Cocorico Village, which would be the Skulltula house, where this family got punished by being turned into Skulltulas, and they can only be turned back to normal if you collect enough golden Skulltulas.
They're the second creepiest model in this entire game, because they are horrifying.
What's the first creepiest? Dead Hand?
Yes.
Where's Dead Hand? Oh, is that the guy in the well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'll agree with that one.
Ugh.
He's just creepy as hell. And then you get to go to Goron Mountain after you run around the village, and I like Goron Mountain. I like how you have to show the letter to get past the guard, and he's like, "Oh, great, go play your game with the princess."
Mr. Hero.
Yeah, I like that.
And his dance.
I mean, I really like the Gorons in this game. I like the music is good. Getting up to them is interesting. Like, and how you have to get that not Darunia. What the hell is his name?
That is the name, Darunia.
Oh, I was right. He won't talk to you or he won't give you any information until you play Sorry Song. He starts dancing uncontrollably, then he tells you more.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's odd to me, but hey, it's a game. I
Such
don't
a
like
hot
all-
beat. You can't help but dance.
Hey, it's a great song. So
He gives you the bracelets that you can like throw bombs and lift up heavy shit.
yes, I guess you can only really do the bomb, whatever the hell the bomb plants are, right? Or is there other stuff?
The bombs. Or the
I don't
bomb
even think you
plants.
can pull the plants out of the ground without that thing.
Well, you can't without the thing. I think that's all the thing does for you, let you pull plants out. I think.
I thought it gave you enhanced strength too, but I might be wrong.
You might need it to push blocks, but you haven't come across any at this point.
Okay, that's why I never really thought about it. I know you can push crates, but I never had to push a block before.
Yeah, I think it comes up more if you're playing the randomizer.
Okay. I've never done that yet, and never will for this game.
There are settings you can do to make it a little less annoying.
I don't know this game good enough.
I have to say, unpopular opinion, the Gorons are my least favorite race in the Zelda games, and the Fire Temple and the Dodongo's Cavern are my least favorite dungeons.
Oh, you don't like Dodongo's Cavern?
No.
I love Dodongo's Cavern. I think that place is great.
But when you hear my favorite, you're going to be like, oh, that makes sense.
Okay, what's your favorite?
Jabba Jabba's Belly and the Water Temple.
What? Oh my god.
That is an unpopular opinion.
Yes.
I know.
My two least favorite places in this game.
Listen, Princess Ruto is the love of my life.
I don't like Ruto at all. Sorry.
She made me who I am. She is the ultimate bratty sub in any game ever.
Oh god. Well, we'll get there shortly, but like I like the whole King Dodongo thing of where they can't get rocks because they wouldn't give Ganondorf the ruby, so he throws rocks in front of their cave where they like the special rocks or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was, and then nobody can just pick up the bomb and throw it, I guess, but okay.
Yeah, and then you can backflip off and get that heart piece without doing the plant.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I just went to the plant later.
Oh, I didn't buy a single magic bean this run. I'm like, I'm not going through all this.
I bought a couple. I bought a lot, but I never planted them all because I just didn't care. That happens.
Oh yeah.
I just don't. You don't need rubies a lot in this game.
No, you don't.
Like they're not that useful. Not like in like Majora's Mask, where I feel like you needed rubies because you need to buy a lot of stuff, but you keep losing everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I don't. I mean, the only point, like the only reason I even did the gold sculpture crap was to get the bigger wallet, and then after that, I didn't. You know, like you said, when you get 30, there's no point in doing it anymore.
Yeah, because the price for 40 is some bomb chews. I'm like, great, thanks.
I don't use bomb chews.
I like the bomb chew lady that runs the game and
She's
the
so
market.
cute.
She's adorable.
She has purple hair.
Yep, she's a little punky girl. I like her.
Mm-hmm. And
But-
she makes those little noises like, oh.
And she seems so bored to be at work. Like, I don't want to be here, guys. Like, I just want to go home.
Yep, I sympathize with her.
Mhm.
Me too. But I was just saying, like, with the whole Dodongo, like, I like Dodongo's Cavern. I never had a problem with it. And I still love that fight with King Dodongo, even though I was getting my ass. I got hurt a couple times. Like, what's going on here, game? Like, I must I was just playing wrong. But it's just so fun to throw bombs in his mouth for some reason to me.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
I love King Dodongo as much as I hate these dungeons. I always liked the noises that they gave him.
Well, my whole thing is, why is his room where he's living at right next to what can kill him at all times? Like, this doesn't seem very smart.
I don't think that's what kills him. I think it's just the bombs in his stomach, and then he just kind of rolls into it.
I always thought you did too many bombs and he rolls in the lava because he's confused and he just dies from the lava.
Because they're resistant on the outside.
Oh, okay.
I think it's because he got all up in his guts.
Yeah. I mean, bombs in your guts probably wouldn't do very good.
Probably not. Sounds like really bad heartburn.
Yeah, you gotta eat some Rolaids, get that cleared up.
I don't know, I just thought,
Pepto.
I was just thinking about that when we played. And then after you get the ruby, then you're sent to go to the final area as a kid, which apparently is Helena's favorite. I did not know. I should have known. I should have known.
Yes, I love the Zoras. I adore them. If I could be any race from this game, it would be the Zoras. I just love them. And the music is so good. So you go to the Zora's place. God, there's a fancy name for it. What the hell is the name of it? Zora's Domain. Yes, you hear this beautiful music that I still play because there's a 10-hour version of it on YouTube. So sometimes when I can't sleep, I play that. And
Yeah, that'd do it.
Yeah, and then you meet the King Zora, and he's like
I don't like
this. I love him, and he's this really fat fish.
him.
And he's like, my daughter is gone. I think she went out back to go play with Uncle Jabu Jabu. I haven't seen her since. So then you have to get him to move out of the way so you can go back and get her.
Then you get the butt moving sounds.
Yeah.
Moeep, 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 moeep. That goes on for like a full 30 seconds.
It's amazing.
I don't know why, but it still amuses me. Like I'm like, and then like I feel like I wonder if it'd be as easy to know. Like I know it got the scale, and I go to Lake Hylia to go get the bottle. But does the game like kind of tell you to do that, or is it just engraved in my head? I can't remember.
That I don't know.
The scale?
Yeah, you got to dive for the money to get the silver scale, and then go to the lake to get the bottle, and then come back.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's all just engraved at different points with me, so I don't know what's what anymore.
I forgot about that. Yeah, that is a thing.
And hey, you get another bottle that way. You should, because I like how the game gives you 3 bottles pretty quickly too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then never a 4th one.
Yeah, I know. I've never got the 4th one. I don't think ever.
No, I've never done the big pose.
Just never
In my youth, when I had more time on my hands, I did the big pose.
Once upon a time when we all had free time.
Yeah.
I have plenty of free time. It just all goes to this podcast.
Yeah.
But so why do you like Jabu Jabu? Because I've hated this dungeon as a kid. I still hate this dungeon. Besides, I know you like Rudel.
Okay, so it's so colorful. I thought it was fun. I thought it was easy. It was really intuitive for me. I just really like the ocean and and fish and stuff. So yeah, you get in, and eventually you run into Princess Rudo, and she's like, yeah, I've been here. And she's super bitchy, and she's like, well, I lost something in here, so I guess we can find it. Also, I'm not walking.
Yeah, I'll give you the privilege of carrying me. Thanks.
Yeah. So you carry her around, and she's such a bitch. She's like yawning and like getting comfortable on your shoulders, and just, God, she's an icon. That is some Mariah Carey behavior. Like
a total diva.
Mini diva.
Yep.
Yeah, so
and all she wants is her sapphire back.
All she wants is her sapphire because her mom gave it to her, and then it's an engagement gift from her to her future husband. So she wants the sapphire so bad.
This dungeon just, like, I had forgotten. I got lost in the dungeon, had to look up a guide because I was just being dumb, apparently. Because I went through the whole part, I fought the stupid mini boss, you lose Rudo, and then I had to go, and I couldn't figure out where to go. I had the boomerang, had most of the thing done, and I forgot you had to pick up a crate, put a crate on the switch, and go down the simple hallway.
You glossed over that mini boss pretty quick. I hate that thing.
I hate him too.
My least favorite boss in this entire game. The giant Octorok.
Round spike.
Mm-hmm. You gotta run around, get behind him, and him with the boomerang. No,
Guess you could say he really rocked your shit, huh?
I would not say that. No.
Hey, it was funny though.
It was.
They're so cute, and there's this stuffed animal Octorok at Target that they sell, and I've been waiting for it to come to my local Target because it's so cute. Just putting it out there. It's $30, no big. Anyway.
Oh, that is adorable.
I don't like this fight. I have such a hard time with it, and it just irritates me every time. I don't know.
That plus is based off the ones from Link to the Past. That's super cute.
I like them in Link to the Past. I don't like them in this game. Then again, Link to the Past does no wrong for me, so it's a different thing.
It does some stuff wrong.
Perfect game. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it, but yes, I know it does. But it's just okay. Those are really freaking cute.
Right?
I kind of want one now. But
me too.
It's all your fault, Helena.
I don't apologize. You're welcome.
But, okay, we were saying, it's just, I don't know, the dungeon just, I know there's nothing wrong with Jabu Jabu. I guess I just don't like water dungeons in this game in general. I don't like water dungeons in general, I should say.
They get a bad rap, but it's so colorful and pretty and interesting. And so the main boss is Barry, I believe.
I like him.
Yeah, Barry, and then he sends out these little barries, and you have to bitch slap him. Yeah, there you go, Baronade. Yeah.
He was a fun fight. I had no problem fighting him this time.
I got through this dungeon pretty effortlessly, and I was kind of surprised. It's like I kept going the wrong way, so I'm like, okay, well, there's that electric pillar here, and then I killed the weird, God, I don't even know what to call them, the weird like eel things that hang down from the ceiling. So you kill them, and that opens up the pillar, and I'm like, oh, well, I just need to go back.
That's part of his body that you're destroying.
Yeah, probably.
It's called the parasitic tentacle, and they're limbs of the Baronade.
Oh, I never knew that.
Yeah.
Now you know.
So the Baronade, that was put there by Ganondorf, right? I'm assuming?
I just assumed that anything bad in this game was put there by Ganon.
Okay.
I would assume so, but I also wonder if it's like a disease or like a heart condition. Like it was bio warfare.
Okay.
Bioterrorism by Ganondorf.
Okay.
There's a lot of intestinal pain in this game. Like, you go inside the Great Deku Tree's mouth and kill a parasite. You throw bombs in the King Dodongo. You're inside Jabu Jabu's mouth killing a parasite. I think someone saw Inner Space and was like, hey, let's just make that the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then when you beat Baronade, you get spat out into the water, and the first thing you wake up to is Princess Ruto giving you the bedroom eyes, and, and she's like, I love you, and we are engaged now. And she gives you the Zora's engagement sapphire, and she's like, you are my man. Remember this.
Link's like, I am 10. Please give me some space.
I thought that was interesting this time when I watched it. When I saw it happen, I'm like, oh yeah.
Again, iconic. She knew what she wanted. She was not wasting time.
No, she was not.
No, take no for an answer. This is happening. Deal with it.
You took the ring. Let's get married.
Yeah, he accepted the proposal, so it's not her fault he doesn't understand Zora's cultural customs.
God, I've been watching way too much Stargate SG-1 because I'm like, oh yeah, of course. I mean, that's a really good show for some reason. Don't ask me why. All right, I got it out. All right, so
after this, before we skip to him becoming an adult, in Hyrulean Field, you can go to the Lon Lon Ranch, which is where Milan lives, and you can meet your future pet horse Epona and learn Epona's song, which is important for later on in the game.
Yeah, it's such a good thing to do too.
Cute horsey.
I enjoyed this part. Like I enjoy Lon Lon Ranch. I like how different it gets when you come back later.
Mm-hmm.
Like I thought that was all. Oh, and the thing that you were talking about with the Civil War, that was in some book that I don't know if it came here.
It's a manga.
Manga. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. I need to read this sometime.
I wonder if it's in the Hyrule Historia.
Probably. It's really sad.
I didn't even know it existed until just now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Link's father was a soldier for the king and was killed in the war.
I kind of want to buy this manga now and read it. It's like 2 volumes.
Do it.
I think it might happen.
Do it.
Based on, I think, every Zelda game, every main one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, don't say you want to be about that life. Be about that life.
Well, if I do it, it'll be for one reason, to make a podcast episode about it. But hey,
Excellent.
But okay, enough of that. So, like, no, we were talking about. Oh yeah, Lon Ranch is cool, and you get another bottle there. You get your second bottle usually.
Yeah,
the Lon Lon milk.
You can Talon asks if you want to marry his daughter, so you can have 2 girls on your arm.
And he laughed at.
Link is really, and I know this is quite crude, but he is really drowning in the puss this game.
He's up to 4 now. Not well, I guess that's counting Saria, but
Saria is forever a kid, so we don't count her.
Yep. So you got
they have
Zelda, Malon, and Ruto so far.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't thought about that, but yeah, you are right. A lot of girls.
They have a sweet childhood friendship romance, and that's it. That's where it ends. There is no porn on the internet depicting otherwise. It ends there. The end. So that
Rule 34 does not exist.
No, it doesn't. Not for Saria. The end. So you take the stones and you go back to Hyrule, or the
Temple
castle.
Of Time.
Yeah. Well, you come up to the castle, and then the sky turns black, and the bridge drops, and there comes Impa and Zelda, and Zelda looks back at you, and she yeets her ocarina into the moat, and you have to get that. So you pick that up, and you're like, haha, fuck Saria, and get rid of her ocarina to take Zelda's.
I think it's kind of funny how it just disappears out of inventory. Like, and I never really thought about it till just today when we're recording. Where you're like, yeah, he just like, screw this, just drops it in the water, just leaves it there.
Yeah, these women keep giving Link their tokens of engagement, like this Ocarina of Time and the milk bottle from Lon Lon Ranch and this Aura Sapphire. And I'd just like to point out that the Sapphire is a way higher quality than all the other shit, so Ruto's winning. Just put that out there.
I mean, the Ocarina of Time is magic at least, so it's got that going for it.
Zora Sapphire opens up the Sacred Realm.
Yeah, but you don't want to go there. You get turned into a rabbit when you go there.
Wrong game.
I know.
I was like, what?
Link to the Past reference.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I love Link to the Past, in case you didn't know.
Yeah. So this is the point where, so Ganondorf comes out, and he blasts your ass, and he's like, you're a kid, whatever. And so you can go in, and this is the time where you can experience the Dying Guard if you go to the left instead of the right. You go the opposite way from the Temple of Time, where the Dying Guard will tell you, like, yeah, Ganondorf came in with all of his people. He ransacked the castle. The princess escaped, and then the guard dies. And if you try to go into the castle then, they're like, no, you cannot come in right now. There's some shit going down. And it's implied that he killed the king.
Oh.
I like to believe that's what probably happened, though, too.
I don't think Zelda would have left her daddy there.
Okay. Maybe she didn't know, but I mean, I'm assuming the king would have gotten killed, though. Like, if you're going to overtake a kingdom, I mean, that's what you got to do.
I mean, the king dies in, like, all the other Zelda games. So I think it's part of the prophecy is that he's going to die.
It's like Uncle Ben in Spider-Man. He's not long for this world.
No. And then you go to the Temple of Time, and you use the spiritual stones to open it up and get the Master Sword. But what's this? Ganondorf comes in. He's like, ha-ha! Fooled you. I was behind you the whole time.
So was he just, like, waiting nearby, or did he come in after you opened the door because you just opened, and then when you left, I
don't know. He blasted your ass. He rode after Zelda a little bit. He's like, that was kind of suspicious, and then turns around.
Okay.
He says something to that effect in the cutscene. He's like, I figured you were the ticket to open in this door, so he must have been following
I love how I feel like if you just wouldn't have done this, he would have never got the door open.
Yeah, he might have killed Zelda, though.
Okay. Well, so for the Triforce to work, you have to have all three pieces. And the three pieces were united in the Sacred Realm. However, when Ganondorf touched them, they split up and each went to their respective destined home. So he got the Triforce of Power, Zelda got the Triforce of Wisdom, and Link got the Triforce of Courage.
Oh, so he didn't get the Triforce till this point then?
Yes.
Okay, I guess I always thought he had the Triforce with him already, but that makes more sense.
Mm-hmm.
I guess my brain just didn't wrap around this sometimes.
Part of him being the chosen one, I guess.
Do we want to go into Ganondorf's backstory?
Sure, we should. Now's a good time, because now he's kind of takes front and center.
Cool. So Ganondorf is a Gerudo, and the Gerudos live in the desert. There's a lot of theories about the Civil War and them being outcast there, and other stuff that I'm not sure it's been substantiated. But the lore from the game is that every 100 years, the Gerudos have a male child, and so basically it's a troop of either lesbians or women that sneak out to have sex with Hylians or carpenters or whatever. But anyway, every 11 or 100 years, they have a boy, and he becomes the king of the Gerudos. So Ganondorf is the Gerudo king, and then goes to Hyrule to meet the actual king, and shit goes down.
Okay.
You say carpenters there, and I don't like why they were keeping the carpenters in jail then. You are now our slaves.
Oop.
Death by Shnu Shnu.
Oh.
Okay, those carpenters are fucking dumb. That's all I gotta say. What make you think you're gonna go over here and be like, oh, hey, they're gonna accept us with open arms? No, they're smart enough not to. Freaking idiots. But and then the whole idea that he puts this, he takes the sword out, and as soon as he takes the Master Sword out, he ends up being put to sleep for 7 long years while he just ages. That's gotta be that's really gotta mess with you all of a sudden. Hey, guess what? Now you're 17 or 18. Surprise! What? I'm just 10. What?
Better than 100.
He didn't age. He just slept for 100 years.
True.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So that's a little different. I mean, he actually aged, like he's older. Like, I mean, just think about all this stuff. Like, and then here you are, like, oh, hey, your quest ain't over here. Here, go kill things now. Go save the world. Like, I mean, it's got to be a pretty traumatic idea.
You can't use your boomerang. Don't even try it.
It's only for kids.
Well, did the slingshot rots? Isn't that the excuse they give you?
I don't know. I just think Navi's like, oh, you can't use some of your items.
Okay, I thought there was some reasoning for it.
Don't use the boomerang. You look like an idiot.
I mean, the boomerang would have made the game a lot easier in adult at first.
Till you get the hook shot.
Boomerang's still pretty damn good.
You're like, these are made for small kid hands, and you have large man hands. No way.
Yeah, I think that's all it is, I think. But Adult Link is interesting. Like when you go back into Hyrule after when you leave the Temple of Time, that part is so fucking creepy with the re-deads in the center and everyone dead and everything gone. Like 7 years later in the world, it's terrible chaos.
It's a stark contrast.
Yeah, there's no happy people dancing in the field, like you were when you first come there. Everybody's dancing in the center of town, and now it's just death.
Re-deads.
I hate re-deads.
Everyone took off for Kakariko.
Yep.
Yes. You think he would have invaded Kakariko too? It's not that far away from his castle.
Yeah, it gets set on fire at some point.
For like a day. I mean,
look, he's not good at it. He still tries.
Yeah.
The re-deads are so creepy.
When we get to my spirit lens or Eye of Truth and Bongo Bongo, I'm ready to rock your world with my re-dead theory.
I'm looking forward to it. Won't be that much longer. And then you go to the Forest Temple. You go back to Kokiri Woods. Isn't everything Kokiri Woods all ruined too, kind of, except for just stupid Mito is still there? Mito?
Yeah, there's monsters in the town. Like
there
the
are?
town part of it. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't see that because I just ran up the thing where to go.
Yeah, there's like the Deku Babas and stuff.
Okay, because I guess the town has no protection anymore, so people are just running wild. I like this area. Like I for some reason I can't explain it, but I like moblins a lot. And seeing the moblins in this game, I like seeing the giant dogs with clubs that beat the shit out of me multiple times this playthrough. But for some reason they're cool to me. No, I got that in this game. I was like, I really like this design of moblins. I really like this part, like when you're walking through the maze trying to get to the Forest Temple, and they're just shooting the shit out of you with their stupid. Or no, they just charge you with the spears and knock your ass in the water. Like, I had fun with that. No, I just did.
Yeah, so you have to go to the Forest Temple to save Saria. Because you find out that Saria has fled or disappeared. And so you go into this Forest Temple, which is beautiful. And
it is. It's a great place. Oh, yeah. we should talk about Sheik, because Sheik shows up after you come back to the when you come back to the future, and you don't know who Sheik is. This is just this guy, the way you see it at first, talking to you and tells you, hey, you have to go, save the sages or something. And she gives you all the songs that let you warp around the game, which make the game a lot easier and more fun. I like Sheik a lot.
Oh yeah, very cool. Very cool in Smash Brothers too.
Sheik is so cute, androgynous, hottie. Yeah.
No, you're not wrong. I mean, I like you like the artwork of Sheik, like not the game itself, because Polygon, but like I think the art of Sheik is really, really cool.
But once again, this game has made me gay. From start to end, all the characters were put in there to make me gay.
Except the Great Fairies.
Excuse me?
The Great Fairies. No. Great Fairies are terrifying. I will hear nothing else.
They were put there to make me gay.
I love you, Helena. I'm just fun. I love having you on this show.
I love the Great Fairies. I will fight for all of them.
But if we were saying, like, well, Sheik is just such a cool character, and is like really his only ally in this too. And I call well, I'll just say she.
I mean, Rudo refers to Sheik as a male, but I think you're meant to. The game just trying to confuse you.
Yeah.
For the big reveal.
Which is cool as hell.
And
I like it also makes sense that, Sheik is hiding their identity and traveling through this game with you and helping you. Like, I mean, she doesn't do anything other than give you songs, really, but it's really cool to have her there, and also such a cool looking character.
Mm-hmm.
And she was raised by Impa to be a badass, and so I think it's really cool because the Sheikas are very like secretive people, and Impa is straight up like, I know you're not a Sheikah, but I'm going to raise you in our ways. What's up? You're my child now.
Thank you, badass ninja girl.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yep. So...
She's badass.
So the Forest Temple is home to the 4 Poe sisters that are named after Little Women. So Amy, Beth, Jo, and Meg.
Oh, Nintendo.
Yeah. That's good.
I don't like the Poes that much, even though they're fine fighting. I just really like this temple. I like fighting the Stolfos a lot. Like, to me, that was really fun fighting them.
The music is so good and unsettling. I love the music in the Forest Temple.
No, I heard it because I actually played with sound for this whole game, but I can't remember it. I'm going to look it up. The music, I mean, again, this is weird for me saying it, but the music of this game is just so good. Oh, there's also a 10-hour thing of Forest Temple, by the way, too.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure there's 10 hours of all first-party Nintendo game music.
Yeah.
You are right, Helena. This is really unsettling music.
Yeah, it's weird, but this whole temple, it kind of strikes me as like a mansion that a very rich man made who was like in the midst of dementia or psychosis because he put all these like weird trap rooms in it and spinning hallways and rooms where the ceilings would fall down. And he's like, I'm trying to protect my daughter, so don't fucking come in here.
I mean, he could have made it because he had a lab in the basement. He didn't want anybody to get there.
I was going to make the same joke.
Nothing. But no, I'm listening to music and like even like when the things like pretty quickly in the song, it starts getting really creepy too. Like some of the different sounds it makes. This is really unsettling music.
It is, yeah.
I never really thought about it until you said it, but now that I'm listening to it, I'm not playing the game or anything. I'm just hearing the music. It really kind of creeps me out a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this temple, like I do agree with you that it does. It looks like it could be a mansion of some sort. I never really put that together, but it's just it looks like it was something normal that once belonged. It would feel like it was built as a temple. It's like it built something else that had a purpose. Man, it is weird. That music is really. I turned it off. It's bugging me.
Okay.
It's like one of those things that you don't think about because when you're playing the game, you're moving, you have other sound effects, so you don't. But when you listen to that song by itself, it really is unsettling.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, and this is one of the only temples where you can see the sky while you're inside of it. So it's a large temple.
yeah, it's a cool place too. Like, I mean, I don't like all the sculptulas you gotta deal with. Those are really annoying as hell.
Yeah.
I mean, there's way too many of them, but I'm okay with that. But
They go down to one hit of the hook shot,
or
which you have to go get before you can even come here. Got to race Dampy's ghost and there's flipping for some reason.
if you don't have the hook shot, you can't get up the tower.
Yep.
Forgot about that. Dampy's ghost is fine. Like, that's not a bad part.
I love Dampy.
He serves no purpose but to give you a hook shot and stuff, but he's cool.
He is kind.
Hook shot's one of the best weapons or best items in the series.
Long shot.
I'll allow it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well. Same thing.
But I mean, the Forest Temple is just it's my favorite temple that you go to, I would say. Maybe that or Fire. I really like the Fire Temple too, but this place is just so cool. And I love fighting, even though the Stoffels kicked my ass multiple times, like got the hang of it, I did enjoy fighting them a lot. They are fun to fight.
Yeah.
And you get the bow. I love the bow in this game.
The bow is great, for sure.
I just like the bow.
I love fighting the Poe sisters because they're all in like the picture frames and then you have to lure them out, and I love them so much. Meg was my favorite Poe sister.
I don't like fighting them that much, but I like the idea of them a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also am a big fan of like the whole idea that you have to go kill these 4 Poe sisters and then you're able to unlock the elevator that takes you down to the bottom of the dungeon.
It is straight up Resident Evil. Gotta go get the crest to put in there to open the statue and George Trevor's.
We're playing that Resident Evil game someday, me and you, the PS1 one. I never beat it.
The original? Yeah, I can do that.
We did 2002 one on the show, so we can do the original PS1 someday.
Hey, we talk about the amazing voice acting.
For the whole episode, just talking like that? Yeah, okay. But okay, back to Zelda.
God, no one would listen to that.
I really enjoy the boss of this dungeon too. I mean, even though so you get into a room with a bunch of paintings at the very end, and you hear Gandorf laughing or something, and I want to say the game doesn't even tell you what's happening. You just have to look at the paintings, you'll see something coming out of one.
Mm-hmm.
Scary shit. I would lose my mind if that happened to me.
I hate mirrors in general. Like I'm not into mirrors, and if I see something moving in a painting or a mirror, I'm done. If something like that happened to me, I'm done. We're out.
Yep.
I don't have mirrors in my house except for the bathroom for a reason. My wife's like, "Oh, we got this big mirror we put up." I'm like, "No, that's good. No mirror. I'm good." Because I have a fear of looking in a mirror and seeing something looking back at me, then it moves, and I'm not moving.
If you get trapped in the mirror, I'm not coming to save you. Like,
nope. I don't know why. I know it's a kind of, I feel like a baseless fear because it's not going to happen because I'm not in a supernatural world, but not that idea.
Isn't that kind of like Uncanny Valley, where like humans get really creeped out by things that look human and aren't human? And at some point, evolutionarily, we had to develop that fear, meaning there was something that looked human but wasn't human. So,
I mean, there's got to be. It's just one of those things that I mean, I know, like I believe in supernatural stuff, but it's just one of those things that like it's one of those fears I always have, and yeah, I just can't do it. So, like the boss is just so. I guess I was also the YouTube video that I was watching had mentioned that originally they had ideas of this game of having something to do with like paintings, kind of like as of Super Mario 64 type style at first, and that's where this came from. I don't know if that's true or not, but that was like, this is a leftover idea that they took and they used for this boss fight. And I like this boss fight where he comes out of the paint and you got to hit him with a hook shot or the bow, and you just keep doing that while he's on the horse till you take out the horse. Like, it is a really cool fight.
And he peels his face off and he's that creepy skull underneath.
No, it's like
Phantom Ganon. He is a ghost that Ganondorf created to emulate him.
I also never really caught how dark it is when you beat him, when he's like, you failed me, I'm going to seal you away. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, I'm going to banish you between dimensions or some kind of shit like that.
I never caught that before.
Jesus.
Yeah, I was like, oh, this is not nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know, it just hit me more this time in this playthrough.
Yeah.
A lot of things in this playthrough that never hit me before.
Yeah, and when you fight Phantom Ganon, the moves you use on Phantom Ganon are the same ones you're going to use against Ganondorf later on in the game.
Oh yeah, because you're bouncing back you're playing baseball with the orbs.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think about that. I mean, I should have thought about that, but yeah, that's a cool thing. Like, there's a lot of really cool elements to this game that still hold up just fine after all these years.
Yeah, turns out Nintendo makes good stuff.
Surprisingly.
Who knew?
And the Master Quest version of this game, Ocarina of Time Master Quest, came out in 2002, Mike, also.
I tried to play that.
One day.
So after you beat Phantom Ganon, you get warped to the Sacred Realm, and you find out that Saria is the forest sage. And when you're a sage, you have to live in the Sacred Realm. You can never come back. And so it's like really sad. You have to say goodbye to your childhood friend. You're like, okay, I'll never fucking see you again, but okay, have fun.
Yeah, that's got to be really depressing. That whole idea.
What's also depressing is that you get the forest medallion, and apparently originally each medallion was supposed to give you a different ability in the game, but they ended up cutting that idea.
Dang.
That would have been cool.
I don't know what abilities you would have got, but that would have been cool still. And then you get to go to the fire temple. You go to the Goron thing. Man, that's kind of depressing too, in a sense, because everybody's dead or gone, or well, everybody's captured. But there's just nothing there, and you have, like, I had a hard time with this because the game is glitching on me or something, where you go back to the Goron city, and you have to bomb a Goron that's rolling around, and he'll talk to you, but for some reason he wouldn't talk to me at first. He just ignored me. And I had to reload my save and then play it, then he would talk to me and tell me, oh, hey, my name's Link too. I like that.
Yeah, because you're Darunia's brother.
Sure you are. I know, because you got the ruby, he calls you a brother or something.
The spiritual brother. Because you saved the Goron, so he names his child after the guy that saved the race.
I like the Fire Temple also. Like, I'm also I like the Megaton Hammer that you get there. I like Fire Temple. It's not as, I don't think it's anything creepy about the Fire Temple you want to tell me, Helena? Or
about the Fire Temple? Well, you have to get the Goron tunic to go in there.
Oh yeah.
Which is where you learn that Link's drip game is immaculate. Nothing? Okay, so you guys don't know what drip game is. That's fine.
No, I have no idea.
I'm just going to leave that there.
Okay. I don't know if I want to know, but I have never heard that phrase.
Well, he is a fashionista of his time, and he gets all these cool tunics that give him different powers, and the Goron tunic allows him to go into the fire without getting burned. So that's neat.
I wear the Goron tunic a lot just because it's a cool. I like him in red or I like him blue best. I wear the Zora tunic the rest of the game just because it's blue.
So I don't know too much about the Fire Temple because I try to speedrun it every time. I do love the mini boss, the Flare Dancer. I think that is like one of the coolest mini bosses in this game.
Mm-hmm. The fight itself is kind of a joke, but it's very cool looking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like a ballerina made of fire.
Yeah, that whole, I don't know. I just like the Fire Temple is interesting. Like as you run around trying to rescue these Gorons, you get so many damn keys.
Yeah. Well, the temple is home to Volvagia, who was a dragon that used to eat Gorons in the past, and it died, and then it was resurrected by Ganon. However, like, I am really curious about Volvagia's like beginnings because in other Zelda games, like Hyrule Warriors, there's a character named Volvagia who like has the same head as the dragon. So I'm curious if that was the original Volvagia or if that guy was just inspired by the dragon or what. But I'm really curious about this dragon. And there's also, throughout Ocarina of Time, there's a lot of imagery of serpents and dragons in the temples. So like the water temple has a lot of dragon serpent imagery. So I'm very curious.
I mean, I know in the comic that leads up to this with Volvagia that he was a pet that Link had as a kid, and then Ganon turned him to the dark side, essentially.
Yeah.
I need to read this manga now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's in there. That's what I've heard, at least when I was doing research on this game before the episode. Okay, this music is nowhere near as creepy. I'm listening to it right now as we're talking for the Fire Temple. It's got a good, like, it doesn't get that unsettling off like the other one did.
Well, the original 1.0 music, they had it was like the Muslim chanting in the back that they took out. So maybe it was creepier then. I
listened to that too. That's not. I mean, it's a little odd when you start hearing the different, like, some of the vocal type sounds of a person in the background that sound a little odd. But other than that, it's not. This music is a lot creepier when you're listening to it when you're not playing the game.
You know, if you think this music is creepy, you should really listen to the music from Majora's Mask that you didn't listen to.
What are you talking about?
Just throwing that out there.
You're 100% right. Because I played that on a DS, and I played a lot when I was like on a train in different places at that time, because I was traveling from Chicago. So yeah, there was no sound ever.
You should probably get that album. Just putting that out there.
It's on YouTube. I might listen to it actually now. But okay, but like the Fire Temple, I mean, I guess because all the Gorons were going to be sacrificed for food or something. I mean, that's why they're there. They're not there just to be prisoner.
Yeah,
that's kind of dark. You know, you are right, Helena. This game's a lot darker than I ever remember or thought about it.
I told you.
You were right. So, like, I don't know what else I want to say. Like, I like Volvagia a lot. I like that fight a lot. I think all that is really well done. I mean, even though it's just kind of whack-a-mole, but still, I like the fight. I like the dungeon.
Volvagia's hair and how often he tosses that shit around.
Just smacks you with it.
Like a shampoo commercial. He comes up out of the ground, just washes it around.
I mean, I love dragons, so anything with a dragon I'm a sucker for.
There's a lot of drama in that hair.
I'm also a big fan of the Megaton Hammer, too.
Yeah.
And this dungeon isn't... I don't think this dungeon is too complicated either. Like, it's pretty straightforward what to do. Someone got upset.
It was me. Like you said earlier, you get like a shitload of keys, and then you have to just kind of wander around. Like, okay, well, where's the locked door? Because it's not like the Forest Temple is just rooms next to rooms next to rooms, and this one is like very weird shaped rooms with multiple exits in them. I don't know. I
didn't have a problem, but
I tend to get lost in this one.
I got lost in the next temple. Well, I would have got lost in the next temple. I didn't read word for word what to do, but hey,
I had an easier time with the Water Temple than I did the Forest and Fire.
Oh, did you use a guide or just in your head?
No, I don't use guides for each game. What kind of person does that?
No idea. But anything else you want to say about the Fire Temple, Helena? Should we move on to your favorite temple?
I have nothing else to say. I
don't either, actually.
We got the best Zelda enemy in all of the series is in this is the Wiggly Wobbly doors.
Oh god. I fell for them too many times too.
Oh my god, you're so right.
Or as the wiki calls them, door that falls down.
I like Wiggly Wobbly door.
Yeah, that's good.
I like Wiggly Wobbly door.
That's what we're calling them for now on. Oh, I'm also holding a bottle lamp as we're recording this episode, by the way, because I can.
Excellent.
I did a Secret Santa thing, and they sent me a bottle lamp, which is on my desk now. Really cool. I don't know why I had to say it. Because
Also a like in the Fire Temple.
I hate likes in this game.
Yeah.
I got eaten by one too, and I felt like an idiot.
Each one. Well, because like you have to hit them just right. The top of them gives you the clangy, not doing damage sound. So like I'd hit them multiple times and just clang, 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 and then they'd eat me and steal my shield and my tunic like an asshole.
If you shoot arrows at them, they go real quick.
That's probably a better idea. I tried to stun them with the hook shot and then hit them, but obviously it didn't work out too well for me.
Yeah, I went with the hook shot method as well.
It's better.
I like them better when they look like they're stacks of pancakes.
And all in the early games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're a little creepy looking in this game, though.
Yeah.
I will say that. It did bug me a little. And then after you finish the fire temple and you get the second seal, then you go towards the Zora domain, and everything is frozen into big blocks of ice, which is kind of, they can't swim, I guess, because they're all in the water.
Devastating.
And the big Zora King is in red ice for some reason, and then you have to go to the ice cavern, which is behind where Jabu Jabu was, but because of speedrunners, now I know Jabu Jabu dungeon is still there. You just have to glitch through the floor. You can go right inside Jabu Jabu still, if you want to.
Awesome.
He's inside a snow. There's like a big snowdrift or something on the pier, and that's where he's at still somehow for some reason.
Interesting.
Yeah,
So
I wouldn't know that.
He's definitely dead.
I'm okay with that.
Uh,
Yeah, I would assume Jabu Jabu's definitely been killed by Ganondorf, because wasn't he supposed to be their protector or something?
Yeah, he's some kind of guardian, I think.
So I mean, it makes sense if you're gonna take over, you're gonna kill the Guardian. So
Yeah.
I'm okay. The Ice Cavern is kind of cool. Slipping the slide is a little annoying, but it's still a cool place to go and get your iron boots.
the music is great. I was not a huge fan of the Ice Cavern, but I understand its utility.
Give you an extra dungeon for the hell of it.
Yep.
And
Yep.
The music's not bad though. Listening to it right now, I kind of like it.
It's not too bad. And then you get to learn what is it called? The water song. The Serenade of Water.
Serenade, yeah.
Beautiful.
Oh yeah, because Sheik gives it to you after you do this part.
Yep. And you play it in the Ice Cavern, and there's like the twinkly stars overhead, and it's really pretty.
And you fight a bunch of Wolfos in this place too as the mini boss.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Ice Wolfos.
Yeah.
I like dueling a lot in this game. I really do. Dueling is really fun.
Yeah. And this is also where you get to use the you have to turn back into a child to go to the Ice Cavern because you have to get the iron boots. Or no. That is absolutely wrong. That is not what you do.
The Ice Cavern's all done as an adult. You get the ice boots or iron boots, which then you go take iron boots and you warp the Lake Hylia, and you can drop down because you have to get the blue tunic too, which you get from rescuing King Zora, I think. Yeah, and then you're able to go full mark.
So you want to hear my water temple theory?
Yes.
Yeah.
The Zoras say that the water temple is a sacred temple and it's used to worship the water spirits, which, like I mentioned earlier, you see a lot of serpent imagery in there, a lot of dragon imagery. And we know that Morpha, the boss you're going to fight later on, is kind of a serpent, like loosely. However, if you go to that tree on top of Lake Hylia, you see that there are 3 scratch marks in it. And while a lot of people think that could be the Wolfos, there are theories going around online that that's actually one of the dragons from Breath of the Wild that scratched that tree when it was younger. And if you compare the Breath of the Wild dragons to the dragon imagery in the Water Temple, they look very similar. So a lot of people online believe that that temple was made to worship the Breath of the Wild dragon that flies over Lake Hylia.
Makes sense.
Huh.
Yeah.
There's dragons in Breath of the Wild?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah!
I remember seeing one for the first time, like, what is this thing? Oh, they're very cool looking.
I need to go back and play that game one day.
Yep, probably.
So, yeah.
Someday.
You make Bill happy.
I'm waiting for the Switch to have it for $20 someday when they do their select, in the year 2025, and then I'll buy it. Yeah.
That's not the Nintendo way.
I know it's not, but that's what I'm waiting for.
$60 for a portable Wii U game with Funky Kong in it. Pay it.
I'd rather not. Well, so we were saying, like, okay, that's cool. I never thought the Water Temple is just. I mean, it's a cool looking place, and when you have a guide, it's really not bad.
So yeah, aesthetically, all the temples look cool. They definitely fit their themes that they're supposed to be representing.
Yep. And this is where you run into your fiance, Princess Ruto. Yes, one of them. And she's like, "Oh, where the fuck have you been?"
I've been sleeping.
You have
She's
not
like,
called in 7 years.
Everything has gone to shit. You've been gone. What the fuck? I will forgive you, but fix this temple.
Why is she's there? Because she's trying to kill Morpha, right?
She's trying to fix it and melt the ice.
All right. I couldn't remember why she's there. I remember seeing her because you see her a couple times. I think, or see her once or twice while you're down there. And this temple is like, I know like people hated it back in the day because I think if you miss a certain switch or miss a key when you change the levels, you have to do a bunch of stuff over again, I think.
you have to start the game over. You cannot move forward when you do that glitch.
Yeah,
Ask me how I know, Mike.
I didn't talk about the glitch. I just talked about like there's a level you can screw up in the dungeon, but I didn't know there was a glitch like that.
Yes, the thing that you screw up in the dungeon is the glitch, and you have to start the game over again.
That would be miserable. I think it happens to you, huh?
It depends on if you save it after that or not. If you don't realize that you've made that glitch, you have to start it over again because you can't go back to an older save file, which I know because I did it.
I figured this was coming from the heart.
Yeah. But despite that glitch, I still love this temple. It's beautiful.
I didn't have any problem with it this time.
And also it's the first time we see one of the most prolific enemies in like Zelda canon, which is Dark Link.
Clams? Oh.
Not clams.
Well, Dark Link is in Zelda 2.
True.
But nobody plays Zelda 2, or got that far, because that game is hard as hell.
Yeah. Especially that fight.
That room with Dark Link, though, in this game is so damn cool. Like, I sucked at this fight. Like, I had a really hard time. I barely beat him, but it is a cool fight. You are right, Helena. I forget Dark Link exists, though.
It's just the hammer, because he doesn't swing when you swing the hammer.
That would have made it a lot easier than using up all my din fire than watching him dance on my sword and smack me in the face constantly while trying to beat him.
Yeah, honestly.
I really should talk more when I play games. Yeah, because I forgot about the hammer trick. If you try to hit him with the sword, he will jump on your sword a lot of times, too, I found out.
Yeah, he jumps on your sword and slaps you in the face.
Yeah, I know.
He's a badass.
He's like, fuck you and your dumb face. Goodbye.
I got smacked so many times. It was annoying. So many times he smacked me in the face.
It's amazing. Just amazing.
It is a cool fight, and it's cool to see that he's in there, and that's when you get the long shot, which is probably one of my favorite items in the game to use.
Mm-hmm.
The hook shot's nice, but the long shot is what you need. That is much better of an item.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And it's not my favorite temple, but I actually had a good time with the water temple. Like, I came in with a fear because I remember people talking about it and hating it when I was younger, and I remember me not wanting to do it when I was younger, making my friend do it for me. I was scared of it. I heard so many bad things, but it was just fine. I mean, I was cheating, but still, I had a good time. Like, I see why the temple is really cool looking with the different levels of water you have to raise and all the stuff you can do. Like, it's a very interesting temple, and there's that final stupid stairwell where you have to go up slant, and I failed on it like 5 times. I watched a video and I just watched a guy run up the side. I'm like, wow, I'm stupid.
I didn't know that.
In 2009, IG Aonuma apologized for the design of the water temple.
That's funny.
They
fixed it in the 3DS version, so they put like markings on the pathways that lead to where you need to go to change the water. Mm-hmm. Everything's color coded. It's a lot more convenient. Plus, the iron boots aren't a weapon. You can they're not an item. You can just equip them on the touch screen, and it's so much better.
I don't remember that.
Or they're not gear; they're items.
Okay.
So you don't have to pause and go into the item menu.
Because you take them off a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I like this temple. I like this temple more than I thought I would this time. And after listening to Helena talk about the dragon thing, I'm more interested in this temple now.
And so there's a secret to killing Morpha really quickly. So you hookshot Morpha's whatever nucleus out. And if you aim it strategically between the spikes so you trap it between 2 spikes and then you stand on the other side of it and just slash at it over and over again, and it can't get past you, you can kill it within like a minute.
Wow. This fight took me a while because I had to grab the slingshot or hook shot or long shot, and I would barely hit it a couple times before it ran back in the water.
That's how you make it your bitch. I love the water temple. I know everyone hates it. It's amazing.
Definitely like it a lot more than the water temple in Twilight Princess. I hate that temple.
I have no recollection of what you're talking about.
You gotta like spin the staircase around and then drop water on it, and it opens up other pathways. It's annoying. Not a fan.
I like Twilight Princess a lot.
I've never played Twilight Princess.
Well, if you want to, we can change that.
Oh yeah, we could.
I wouldn't be opposed to it.
Okay, because it's
talk about Dark Zelda games. It's up there.
That's what I hear.
You should play it because your dog is named after a character from Itzo.
Yeah, she is. Well, we also have a cat named Navi.
No. Yeah, no, I remember Twilight Princess being really good. And I played the HD version a little bit before this podcast started. So,
Excellent.
2 years ago. But still, I have good memories. So we shall see. Hopefully I'm not wrong.
We can make that happen.
All right, back to Zelda. But so the water, like Morpha's a little orb inside a giant body of water that makes water tentacles and beats your ass with them. I found out it hurts a lot.
Yes.
I did not enjoy when it grabbed me and threw me across the room or like beat me. I'm like, this is not fun. It beat my ass a few times. I mean, I didn't die, but I had to use fairies. I was getting my ass handed to me. I was like, this is not fun. So
yeah, Morpha is the fuck around and find out boss of Zelda.
You are not wrong.
It's a good way to put it.
And then most of my memory of this game ends at this point. Like, after I beat the water temple, this is when you go to Kakariko Village, and this is when it's on fire, and you meet Sheik, and you get the song. But also, this is when everything starts getting really ass creepy too, because you get attacked by some invisible thing that comes out of the well and hits you or something, or beats you down.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Something definitely flies out of the well,
and it's invisible. I remember that much. Like, it's weird, like, and then she kind of, like, saves you or wakes you up after you get your ass handed to you, and then tells you have to go, and then everything's on fire, and you have to go down to the well or something.
I think there's an explosion in the well that blows you back. I don't think it's actually an enemy from inside the well, but I might be wrong on that.
First, you gotta go into the windmill hut and hear the best Zelda music in the entire franchise.
Meet the most manic character of the Zelda franchise.
He's really mad at you.
He's a little annoyed.
Guru.
I like how fast his face changes though too when you play the song. He's really upset with you.
It's hilarious because he teaches you the Song of Storms, but then you have to go back as a child and teach him the Song of Storms.
Paradox.
And that paradox is explained in Majora's Mask because the Song of Storms was created for, I think it was created by the composer Flat for his brother Sharp to apologize for something he had done when they were alive. So when you go to Icana Valley and you go to the graveyard there, you learn about the backstory of Song of Storms. Oh. And they were both composers for the royalty of Hyrule.
They also teach you the Sun Song in this one.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I do like Song of Storms. There's no Saria song, but it's not bad.
Oh, it's great.
It's great. Yeah.
Love it.
So you find out that there's this professor walking around Kakariko Village, and if you talk to him, the old man, he'll tell you that there was a man who could see the truth, and he had a house that once stood on the location of the well. And you find out later that the man who can see the truth it's him using the lens of truth.
Oh, that's cool. I never talked to this guy before. In all the years I played this game, I've never heard the story.
Okay, when we get to the Shadow Temple, I'm going to tell you my theory that's going to rock your world.
Okay. When you go back to being a kid, like when you go down in that well after you teach the guy the Song of Storms, and like, man, that is one creepy little dungeon where you get the lens of truth.
Mm-hmm.
And
I forgot that that's all you need to do down there. You just have to get the lens.
That's all I do, and I get the fuck out of there.
Yeah, like I'm running around, I'm like, okay, where the fuck do I go now? And it's like, oh, I think I'm done here. I think all I needed was this. But you gotta fight Dead Hand, who is fucking creepy.
He's like a bunch of hands sticking out of the ground that grab you, and that's one way to make him spawn, I think, right? He's a big blob with arms and a big mouth that opens up to try to eat you.
Oh yeah, and like long red nails on his hands. Ugh.
It's creepy as hell.
He looks like a Silent Hill enemy.
Yeah, he kind of does.
Yeah, he's got like what I imagine was how they were trying to artistically depict rotting flesh.
Oh, I never thought about that.
He's gross. He's so gross.
You get to fight him twice. Once as Child Link, once as Adult Link. He's the only mini boss that's well, okay, never mind. Iron Knuckles are reused too, so never mind.
Yeah, and there are some people online who believe that the Dead Hand is the man who had the Lens of Truth as a zombie, but I have a different theory.
Okay, and you want to say and then when you go back to adult, this is when you're able to go to the Shadow Temple. You can only get to the Shadow Temple by playing that song, right? Or can you hookshot up there?
I think you have to play the Nocturne of Shadow.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, because it's kind of interesting how she gives you a song where you can teleport right in front of the temple, and the only way to get to that temple is by that song, where everything else you can always walk to the temple. That's interesting too.
Mm-hmm.
The Shadow Temple, I forgot.
Jin's fire to even get inside.
Yeah, which is I thought an optional item.
No, I think it's the only one you have to have, and I think you only use it. You only need it either just here or one other time.
But man, this Shadow Temple is creepy as hell. I had forgotten this temple because this was, I think, the point that we didn't play very often when we played this game when I was a kid. So we didn't do this, and I had no recollection of this place. And It's creepy as fuck. So, what was your theory, Helena, that you wanted to say?
We have to get to Bongo Bongo.
Oh, okay. All right. Shadow Temple, like, it's just everything, like, you have to use the lens of truth constantly to see things that are hidden, and, like, oh, man, is it just so weird? All the skulls everywhere, and...
Some invisible floors, invisible walls, invisible chests, invisible enemies, invisible holes. Oh, man. You put that lens of truth through its paces, that's for sure. Unless you just know where everything is.
Yeah, like the video I'm watching right now.
Oh.
But it's just it's probably the creepiest dungeon in this game, with the invisible walls and everything, and just all the death symbolism that's in here. I was very uncomfortable playing it. I mean, it's not hard, it's not that hard or anything. It's just fair, and it's pretty straightforward if you long as you're using the lens of truth, but it is creepy as hell. And when they keep talking to you about like the dead and stuff, like the wall keeps talking to you. Yeah, it's not cool.
But you get the hover boots.
I don't like the hover boots.
What? I love the hover boots. I kept them on way more than I probably should have.
Me too.
I don't use them often, and this is where you fight Dead Hand again to get the hover boots too. But you do get the hover boots like really fast though, which is nice. Like you don't have to go through a lot of the dungeon to get them.
For those who don't know, they let you walk on air for a few seconds before you fall.
But you also have no traction.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
You get used to it.
I never did. I just didn't wear them unless I had to. Then I took them off immediately when I was done.
The Shadow Temple, eh?
Yes.
So the Shadow Temple is historically where the Sheikah kept and tortured prisoners of the royal family. So enemies of the royal family would be kept down there. And it's theorized that all those re-deads you see are actually former soldiers of the Hylian army.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I buy that.
Mm-hmm.
Especially since they're enemies of Ganondorf, so he wouldn't have wanted them just to, he's torturing them essentially by turning them into zombies.
I don't think... I truly don't believe that Ganondorf made the re-deads. I think that they were created by the royal family to protect the Shadow Temple.
Huh. Okay.
And that's just like my belief. That may not be true, but there's a lot of evidence in the Shadow Temple that, and if you look at the other games too, that the re-deads were made by the royal family and by the Sheikahs specifically. And I think like some of the descriptions of the re-deads are like that they're guarding something.
That made everything creepier.
The Shadow Temple is fucked up.
Yeah. But I never thought of it as like a prison or a torture place. I just thought it as, just a dungeon, a temple. I guess all the temples were something before.
It's taboo for the royal family to talk about the Shadow Temple because of like the history that it has. There's torture equipment everywhere. Like when you walk in there, there's those crosses and there's blood everywhere and like viscera.
Guillotine.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the blades with the Grim Reaper like things in the middle for the silver rupees. Yeah.
And there's also symbolism in the temple from the royal family. So I believe that the royal family also knew about it.
Man, that makes everything a lot darker.
Yeah.
Okay. That's interesting. I like this.
Okay. So here we are. We're ready for the Bongo Bongo theory. So when you look at Bongo Bongo, what do you see? You see a disembodied torso, hands, and this eye coming out of its neck hole. My theory is that the man who wielded the lens of truth was caught by the Sheikah, tortured, interrogated, had his hands cut off, had his head cut off, became Bongo Bongo.
Okay. I'll buy it.
Yeah, I can definitely see that.
Because he wouldn't have probably appreciated what he was doing, so...
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's some dangerous magic that would allow him to do a lot of things that they wouldn't have wanted him to do. And especially if they have...
This temple is everything is hidden in this temple. It would give him full way just to run through this temple and have no problem with it.
Yeah, absolutely. He could have gone in there and taken out royal enemies or, anything.
Man, that makes everything a lot darker in Zelda now. Like, I never really thought about... I mean, I guess as a kid, I never really thought much about the temples other than just being temples, but to think that each one probably would have had some kind of use in this world. Mm-hmm. Of some sort. Like they were real places that end up becoming these temples.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like this fire temple is just you're inside a volcano. Like it's something for the Gorons. Like this is a torture chamber. I mean, the forest temple was maybe somebody's house. Like it's interesting.
Yeah, and the water temple and the spirit temple, the Spirit Temple, they talk about a goddess of the sands. So that's like that being used as a place of worship for this goddess, which you see statues of her throughout the temple.
Yeah.
Like, that's not a stretch at all.
So what do you think of the Bongo Bongo fight? I like it. I like how you fight on a drum.
Mm-hmm. You shoot his hands to stun him, and then hook his eye with the hook shot to pull him close to you and stun him.
I just shot him with an arrow.
Or that. Yeah, because he'll spit out arrows. He'll spit out more arrows if you run out.
I really like your theory, though, Helena. Like that's cool to think about that. I never thought about that until just now. So
Bongo Bongo is, oh man, because like growing up, like I didn't look at him and say like, oh yeah, it's a torso with its hand cut off. But like when you look at it now, you're like, holy shit.
Yeah, you can see it. Like it. I can kind of see what you're talking about now. Like it's he was beheaded.
Yeah, absolutely.
Man,
and he's still got that Eye of Truth, his eyeball living in his neck now.
Yeah,
and you can only see it with the Eye of Truth.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you can't see him without it. Plus, you have that one room where you have to use Din's fire or fire arrows to destroy the wood barricade that's about to crush you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that also helps. And there's a Re-Dead in that room too, so that also kind of supports what she was saying about them being enemies of the royal family that were then tortured and turned into it. Okay.
Yeah.
I feel they probably did put a lot of thought. I mean, there's probably was thought like this put in the game too when they made it, not just us theorizing, 22 years later.
No.
I mean, I feel like, at the time maybe they didn't think about it, but like when they do think about it, it makes sense. However, also this game is extremely detailed. So
I mean, there's a lot of they put that symbolism there of the royal family stuff in the Shadow Temple, so that wasn't an accident.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, there's a manga that came out because the manga I think came out when the game came out, or some of it did. Like the Civil War thing that you're talking about, that definitely came out around the time the game came out. I'm pretty sure. I don't think I'm making this up.
Man, the Shadow Temple, the boat that goes through the Shadow Temple is the thing that really scared me as a kid.
Why did it scare you?
I don't know. Okay, so if we look at, I think it's, I want to say it's Greek or Roman mythology, where there's like a boat that takes you into Hades.
Yeah, Greek. It's Charon's boat.
Yeah, there you go. Remind me a lot of that, and I don't know, that boat just really freaked me out. I have no idea why.
It's pretty creepy. I think it's definitely meant to mimic the Ferry of the Dead that he runs.
I'd buy that too, which I like all that Greek stuff a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and I'm just as I'm watching a playthrough of the Shadow Temple, I see that cross thing that you were talking about with the people where they would have chained somebody up, the blood on the ground. Man, I'm not gonna look at the temple the same as I did before. All right. Anything last thing you should say about the Shadow Temple before we move on to the next part of the game?
So Impa is the sage. I mean, we didn't really talk about that, the sages for the fire and the water temple, but
water, Drunia, fire.
Yeah. It's the main characters you meet as a child.
And Impa being the sage for the Shadow Temple, with that theory that the Sheikah used it to interrogate and torture, that actually makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me wonder if maybe Impa raised Princess Zelda there after they escaped the castle.
In the Shadow Temple?
Yeah.
Could be. They gotta hide somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, Ganondorf would have been looking for him.
Yeah, and you've got the Sheikah Eye of Truth symbol that's on like all of their clothing.
Yeah.
That would make sense with the Lens of Truth too.
Oh, good point.
Imagine a childhood growing up in the Shadow Temple.
No.
It wouldn't be very good.
I don't think I want to do that.
You're like, no.
Like, don't go in this room.
Yeah, watch out for the invisible floor. I don't need to come down and save you from the Re-Deads again.
Oh, man, that would be really creepy.
A little bit.
But, I mean, they had to hide somewhere, and this world ain't that big.
Mm-hmm.
And it's fair to believe that they stayed in Hyrule. They didn't leave and go to Termina or something.
Yeah.
One, I don't think Termina's real, but two, like, it, so.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, God, yeah, I'm looking at that Bongo Bongo right now. Yeah, it does look like a beheaded. Okay. I definitely see your theory. I like your theory, too. Okay. And then after this is when you finally go to the Gerudos, but you have to go there as an adult because you need Epona to get there.
Mm-hmm. Which
is also, I think, is cool, is when you meet the dumbass carpenters that... Because you get there and you need... I don't know why you get to rescue these carpenters, and they decide to all run away to go live with the bandit, with the all-female clan, thinking they would accept it. But there it is.
Men running off to live with dangerous, sexy women. I don't feel like that's too much of a stretch.
It's not a stretch, but still it is. I wouldn't say it's a stretch at all.
Yeah. I mean, like, same. I would be one of those carpenters. I'd be like, please take me, Gerudos.
I'll be your slave.
Yeah.
But it's just, I don't know. Reason I call them supers, like, they just think that they can just go there and they'll accept them without, like, they're not going to accept them.
Yeah, they're like, there's a bunch of women living here and there are no men. We can definitely go there. They won't notice us. Like, it's like young men in high school sneaking into women's locker rooms. Like, are you stupid? Like,
it doesn't go over well. And I had forgotten about the whole part in this game of sneaking around when you're trying to rescue them. Like how they throw you in a cell, but you keep all your equipment. They just throw you in the cell. Good thing. But
and they sexy fight you too.
They do.
I like them. I got my ass handed to me a couple times in the fights. I forgot they have a one-hit KO attack they can do that knocks you out if they hit you.
Yeah, they're not fucking around. They know their shit. They know how to lay you out really quickly, and I love them.
They are. I like how, like, you can, like, I was shooting them in the. I guess you sneak around, you hit them I hit them with arrows or hook shots and knock them out so you can get past them to try to find the 4 carpenters. And every time you find a carpenter, you're talking like, "Oh, look behind you!" And then you get into a mini boss fight.
I was pretty certain for a while there were only 3 carpenters because it took me for fucking ever to find the 4th one.
Internet is your friend.
Yeah.
But, like, remember before when we didn't have the internet and we had to go do that shit ourselves? I spent a lot of time on that as a child.
I
had the strategy guide for this game. So.
Dear God. Have you ever struggled in your life, Mike?
Oh, I struggled a lot. I cheat in your game.
Yeah, so after Gerudo's Fortress, you finally get to go to the Spirit Temple.
After you wander in the desert for a little bit.
That part is okay.
Desert Colossus.
Yeah, no, this costs fine. Wandering in the desert with the lens of truth, trying to find out where to go and follow the pole, it's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
I do like how after you rescue all 4 carpenters, they go, "Oh, here's your membership card. You can be with it. It's okay now. We won't throw you in a cell again." I
like that game recognizes game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still, I mean, makes sense they would have done something to honor you because you outsmarted them, I guess.
Yeah.
I had no issue with it on any level. And then, like, the whole, like, running to get to this, I think the Spirit Temple is cool. How you get to the Spirit Temple, but you can't actually do anything in it when you first get there because it's sealed, and you have to leave. And then Sheik shows up and teaches you the song.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then you have to come back as a kid.
Yeah, and that's where you get to meet Naburu, the leader of the Gerudos.
Is Naburu the girl they talk about, the Princess of Ganondorf, when you are an adult in the Gerudo training grounds?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, because after what happens in this, when you're a kid, that turns her into on Ganondorf's side, I guess, essentially.
She gets brainwashed.
I forgot about a lot about that little part where you go through half the dungeon as a kid, and then you go through the rest of it as an adult. I'd forgotten all this. I don't know why, but I just did. I like it though. Like I like how she sends you to go get the gauntlet. She's like, but make sure you give them to me. They don't fit you. Give them to me.
Yep.
I did enjoy that part.
Yep, and then you watch her get kidnapped by Kuma Kote.
So Kuma Kote, they're also Majora's Mask, but I'm assuming it's not the same characters.
They're not. They're sisters in Majora's Mask. They're good guys. They're only evil in Ocarina. And they're the surrogate mothers of Ganondorf.
Oh, all right. I never knew that.
Mm-hmm.
You're teaching me all sorts of new things today, Helena.
So Twin Rova is my favorite boss in Ocarina of Time.
It's such a cool idea.
Yes. Big sexy lady, throw fire ice. My dumb Cro-Magnon brain is just like, yes, this is good.
You're not wrong. Especially in the N64 time, those graphics would have been really good at the time.
Yes.
But also, like, as a kid, you have to fight an Iron Knuckle. And I really like the Iron Knuckle fight, even though I kicked my ass a couple times. Like, I got hurt, and I'm like, oh, this is not fun. But, like, man, because that's the final mini boss of being a kid, is you fight a giant Iron Knuckle, which is some kind of thing full of armor with a big ass axe that's cutting down pillars that give you hearts and trying to kill you.
That's
Iron Knuckles are scary.
4 hearts of damage when it hits you.
Yes.
Pretty brutal.
Yeah.
It's a fun, like, I don't know, I didn't realize it till this playthrough how much I really enjoy dueling in this game.
Mm-hmm.
It's good. The fights are good in this game, for sure.
And then is after you beat the Iron Knuckle, you get the gauntlets. Then you see Nabooru get captured in a little portal, and then you have to go back as an adult. Which I'm happy that you just teleport back here and you don't have to run through the desert again.
Yeah, thank goodness.
And I like how like the whole like when you get here an adult, you just go to the right. When you come here as a kid, you go to the left for a little hole. And as an adult, you have to lift this pillar and go to the rest of the temple. And you're kind of in the same. You're in the same temple. You revisit like some of the same rooms in a couple times.
Mm-hmm. Do the big statue with the outstretched hands. You come at.
It holds chests for you later on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it was cool. I had forgotten a lot. Spirit Temple was also one of the big like empty holes for me of this game, where I had no recollection of the Spirit Temple for some reason.
Because you didn't play past the Water Temple.
Yeah, I mean, I did beat the Spirit Temple at least once, but yes, I just had no memory of it, really. Same with the Shadow Temple, but even less. We just didn't, as a kid, we didn't play it a lot. I played this with Rich that's been on the show a few times. He was the one that played it for all of us and helped us get everything. He used to go to people's houses and beat the Water Temple people because they wouldn't do it.
So, amazing.
Start charging for that.
Yeah,
I remember that he went to multiple people's houses and multiple characters and beat the Water Temple. He did it for me, too.
Oh, my God.
I think that's partly why my memory doesn't go past that, because I didn't play it, and the Spirit Temple is really cool. I really like it a lot. It's a good temple, and it's not too challenging, but it's very interesting. And I do love how every temple has a very different look to it too. I mean, again, different elements. So I think it looks really cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep, agreed.
And then Twin Robo fight, like first you fight Kome and Kote, where you have to deflect their beams at them, which I had a hard time with. But then after that, that's when you fight the Twin Rova that Helena had a crush on. After.
Oh, she's so cute.
I think young Mike had a crush on her too, but I can't remember that.
Have you seen her?
Yeah, but I can't remember.
She's so cute. She's
a lot of crush on different video game characters, but I can't remember.
Real curvy and has the two pigtails of fire and ice. Yeah.
Oh, but it's also a good boss, like deflecting the blast. Like it's a fun fight.
It is. It's a really fun fight.
I mean, all the bosses in this game are pretty good, though.
And I like when they finally die and they separate again. Kum and Kotek, they argue with each other on who is younger, even though they're twins.
Yeah.
And at the very end, they're like dead. They're ghosts flying up. And at the end, they're like, "We're gonna come back and haunt you," as they're flying away.
And it do, depending on your idea of Majora's Mask, maybe.
Yeah.
No. Incorrect.
And after the Spirit Temple, this is when you have all the seals, and this is when you finally get to go back to Hyrule Castle. You can then enter what now is Ganon's Castle, or Hyrule Town, I should say.
Yep.
I like Ganon's Castle. I had no memory of it whatsoever, but it was fine. It was kind of fun.
I honestly don't have a whole lot of memory about Ganon's Castle either, and that's because I really loved the temples and I really didn't like the castle, so I always just stopped after the Spirit Temple.
I mean, it's not very long. Like the puzzles are pretty quick that you go through to get everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you go through rooms based on each of the medallions, each of the temples basically, and have to go through and shoot a light arrow into. Oh, yeah, we kind of skipped over something before this.
Yeah.
Someone gives you the light arrows.
Oh yeah, we did skip where Zelda finally Sheik finally shows herself as Zelda. And that's when you get the light arrows, and then immediately she gets captured by Ganon.
Well, you see Link go into a gay panic when Sheikah takes off.
It's like, wait, what does that mean?
He was like, but Sheik, but we had a relationship.
Was there a lot of bros? I wonder, bro, what happened, bro?
Yeah, honestly.
You don't get. Yeah, it's okay. It's a dumb joke that only Mike gets. Because a really dumb comic. I keep making this joke. There's a really dumb Hawkeye comic that what the Hawkeye show can be based on. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, where they keep saying "bro" all the damn time, and it's really bad.
Amazing.
It's okay. You don't want to know what I'm talking about. So yes.
But anyway,
thank you.
Zelda gives you the light arrows, and you have to shoot them into these like floating walnuts and break all the barriers, so you can actually go up to where Ganon is, and he's playing his kick-ass organ as you're climbing the stairs.
That's a fun part.
It's surprising that he's so into music.
You get to fight a lot of Dinophos on your way up, too, which are Lizzophos, but stronger, I guess, or something. I mean, again, more dueling. I was happy. Anytime I get to duel, I was happy in this game.
I don't know, it's really dueling. You just hold up your shield, they attack, and then you attack immediately.
Hey, dueling, damn it.
Okay.
That was inspired by, I read. I saw one of those words.
Yeah, I believe
That's what
it.
the internet told me.
So it must be true.
Yes. Internet would never lie to me.
Nah.
But I mean, you get to fight Iron Knuckle too, which is fun. And you can fight two at one point on the way up to him, but they stay quiet unless you hit them. And of course,
I just hit one and only fight one.
I was like, I'm not going to hit both. This would be a bad.
And then you go up and play tennis with Ganon, where he shoots his little energy ball back at you.
I had a really hard time with this fight.
And he has the most interesting noises. He's like, booyah!
Just like tennis.
It's amazing.
And you can't lock on him either.
Yeah, because what is it Navi says? Like he's disrupting her ability to help or something. Yep. He's got emanating some kind of dark force that pushes her away, so she can't help you lock on.
I was a little annoyed that I couldn't lock on because it made the fight a lot easier.
That's the point.
I know, but I was annoyed.
You really don't need to. You just have to swing to hit the ball. It kind of auto tracks to him.
I missed so many times at first. Like it took me a while because I kept missing because I kept forgetting. Oh, you got to pull the damn sword out, Mike. It takes longer. The sword's in sheath. But so I had a hard time with this fight. A lot of save states.
You and your save states.
You know me.
Oh yeah.
But, yeah, I beat this game legit before the podcast on the 3DS. But so I don't got time for that. I got too much recording to do.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I still had fun. Like I do like this fight. And you have Zelda in a pink crystal.
Yeah, I hated Zelda's character design as an adult.
Sheik's better.
Sheik is way better. You kidding me? That was like a downgrade.
And then after you hit him, like I also screwed up a couple times where after you bounce it back and forth, you have to quickly hit him with a light arrow and then hit him with your hook shot or long shot and then beat the crap out of him for a second or two.
How I didn't hook onto him, I just ran and jumped over.
Yeah, when I did that, I fell down the hole, so that didn't happen after that. I struggled.
That's okay.
I struggle a lot in this game. I don't know why.
That's fair.
It's not that hard of a game, I feel like. Not compared to some stuff we play. I mean, not like the enemies are endless in this game. They make you escort missions every single time you're playing, like nothing like that. So.
We'll talk about that next week.
But he does some challenge, but it's still really fun. Still holds up just fine from 98.
Save it for your shuffler box.
Okay. And anything you want to say about Ganondorf, Helena?
He's a punk bitch.
Accurate.
No, I have nothing to say about Ganondorf. He was a great character. They did a great job with him. There's not a lot I can say about the last dungeon. I don't know. It was just kind of a replay of the other ones. It wasn't super interesting to me.
At least it's not super long.
Yeah, yes.
There's that.
And then
running down the stairs sure felt super long.
Yeah.
Right? Escorting Zelda out.
When the game becomes Metroid? Yeah.
It's totally Metroid. At least there's not... Oh, there is a time limit, isn't there?
That's 3 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing that affects you. Like, I don't think you fight a couple things, but it's all pretty quick. Like, you don't really have that much of an issue.
Yeah.
I also like how when you get down there after you escape the tower, Ganondorf breaks out of the rubble when you have to fight Ganon, but he takes away your Master Sword at first. He knocks it away from you or something.
Mm-hmm.
And you're doing a disservice to the beast that is Ganon. He turns into a boar-like creature that is huge.
It is cool.
Definitely the biggest we've seen him up to this point.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the Ganon I remember is a big, giant, pig-looking thing. My Ganon. I love Link to the Past.
Well, you know.
But no, it's a cool fight. He's a giant blades, and he takes away your Master Sword. You have to hit him with a Megaton hammer at first. Hit him in the tail, I think, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Yep. The only place you can hit him.
It is cool, and you're surrounded by fire, so Zelda can't help you. I love the idea that Ganon is like what he can become because he accesses the dark power. I guess you have the big Goron sword. You can use the big Goron sword to hit him, not the hammer. I didn't
get the big Goron sword this time. Well, I really didn't do any side stuff. Like I got the Skulltulus if I passed them, and that was about it.
How about you, Helena? Did you do any side stuff for this playthrough, or?
I did not.
I didn't either.
Nah, I was more focused on the goal.
I was gonna get ice arrows, but then I decided why and didn't do it. So
yeah, they're not worth it. I'm glad that the arrows and the bow get more treatment in Majora's Mask. They're more of a focus.
Yeah, for sure. You can go fishing in Ocarina of Time too, which...
Yeah, you got to get the golden scale, which I tried to do that. I did try And after like 20 minutes, I'm like, yeah, never mind. I don't care.
Didn't even go there.
Yeah, it's a pretty helpful upgrade.
Didn't care enough. Like, it just wasn't. I got some stuff, but I didn't go after that. I didn't go after ice arrows. I think anything else extra. I didn't. Shells I never bother. I didn't really go after heart pieces either. I found them.
Mm-hmm.
I did get all the great fairies though. So I got the extra magic meter. I got the hearts that are taking less damage.
Double defense.
Mm-hmm.
Good stuff.
I like the great fairy stuff, and I love how at the end of this game, doesn't he like shove the sword right in his head or something?
Yeah, it's not quite as brutal as it is in Wind Waker, but yeah, he's like kind of shoves it into his face a little bit.
It's cool.
And he doesn't immediately die after it gets shoved into his face, which what?
You think you would die instantly when something's shoved in your face like that?
Well, yeah, if it goes through your brain, which it did.
I mean,
big demon boar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot more to that demon boar, like if you play Skyward Sword, which I never have yet, but I can't tell you.
Played some of it.
It's something to do with Skyward Sword.
Skyward Sword is the worst Zelda game. And
I'm going to play it here at some point. It just will not be with a Wiimote. So
Skyward Sword, Ganon is revealed to be the incarnation of the hatred of the Demon King Demise, carrying this eternal loathing fury towards the goddess and her hero.
Oh, we didn't talk about the goddesses at all that are throughout this game.
The long-ass cutscene at the beginning. Decatree's like, hey, I'm dying, but I'm going to tell you this 20-minute story about the goddesses.
Yeah, I mean, I remember it from the Link to the Past instruction booklet that talks about them, too.
Din, Furor, and Nairu created the earth, the creatures to inhabit the earth, and the laws of the land to be upheld by the creatures of the earth.
That's how that works, okay.
Yeah.
They are cool. I mean, I always thought there'd be more with them in this game, but I guess, it makes sense that they're not. I do like how in the final fight with Ganon, Zelda uses her power too right before you stab him in the head with your sword, which I forgot about.
Yeah.
At least she does something else, which is cool.
Yeah. She teaches you music and then does a thing at the end.
And then you get to the cutscene at the end, which is beautiful and makes me cry every time.
It's pretty sweet.
When they're reunited?
Not that where. Oh, you mean the part where she's like, "Thanks for saving us. You can go back to being a kid now. Bye."
How traumatic does it have to be where you're then like? Because I feel like you would have the memory of being an adult, and all of a sudden you're back in your kid body.
Mm-hmm. So traumatic that you would go into the Lost Woods and try to kill yourself.
It's like, I'm gonna send you back in time now. Wait, no, I love you.
But my fiance.
Oh yeah, I don't think I'd want to go back in time either. I'm good now. I can skip this adolescence time. You're not missing anything.
You missed puberty.
Oh yeah, I mean that would really fuck with you too. Like what we were saying. Like I think Helena said it earlier, where like you did the.
Mike, you've totally cut out.
Yeah, you. That whole thing was gone.
That's okay. What was the last thing I said that came through?
Like Helena said earlier, and then you started to say it, and then it was gone.
Okay. Continue on now, thanks to problems, internet, probably because YouTube. After you, like Helena was saying earlier, the whole idea that, he's put back in time and like how this got to like fuck with him so much. I think that's what I was going for. There's
a lot of theories online that Link doesn't speak because he has complex post-traumatic stress disorder.
He's got the memories of all the Links that came before.
I honestly, that wouldn't shock me at all.
No.
This is like, for the timeline wise, this is where everything splits. There's 3 different timelines that come around this point because of time paradoxes.
Mm-hmm.
Or that the one timeline where he defeats Ganon as an adult and stays as an adult, the one timeline where he goes back to being a kid and no one knows about what he did. Oh, what I was going to say that got cut off was Helena had mentioned how no one knows that he saved the world.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was. Mm-hmm. Before Skype was so mean and rude to me.
And no one knows that he saved the world, and he has to go back to, that Hyrule Castle town and see all those people who were like redeads and like look at all these things. He's like, oh, well, I've seen what happens when this all goes to shit, but I just have to act like nothing is wrong.
Man, that is kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
You were right when you originally said this, that you would, I think definitely in this game, you were right.
I know.
I'm not sure how I feel about it, but you were right.
It's an amazing game, and it's really fucking sad.
Yeah. I mean, it's just so traumatic to think about. Like, I never really thought about it much until, we're playing through it. Like, the idea, just being sent back in time and everything had to just be so fucked up.
After we get off this call, you should probably go get some hot chocolate or maybe take a bath. I mean, just sit down for a little bit.
I'll go take a dog for a walk. Actually, when we get done recording, that's sitting down next to me, looking at me, wondering why we're not walking. But that's another thing. All right, any last things we should say about this game before we move on to questions? Comments?
The Great Fairies did nothing wrong, and I love them.
They creep me out a little, too. So.
You know what? That's fine. I love them.
It's the laugh that gets me, too.
Yeah, exactly. It's more the laugh than anything.
I wish I could do that laugh.
How was that?
It's not ear piercing enough.
Okay.
It's just incredible. Scantily clad giant women.
Let's stick to the bombshell girl.
Oh, man. All right, we're going on to question, memories, and comments. I got a few from the Overblood group. First one I'm going to read from Devin Lake. This game came out when I was 14 and had just discovered pot. It helped me appreciate the music much more, and I was able to get immersed in it like I had never done so before in any other game. I was pretty obsessed with it for a while, and I don't think it holds up as well as Majora's Mask. Because of the pivotal time in my life that this game was released, it does make it highly nostalgic for me, and I can't help but think fondly of it. I don't really know if I like this more than Majora's Mask. I'm not really sure. Because Majora's Mask, I used to call a bullshit Zelda game, but now I really like it.
Yeah, you better.
You're the only reason both the reason why either Ocarina and Majora's Mask are on the show because of you, Helena. So that's the reason.
I'm thankful to me for introducing these high quality games.
Well, you were the reason I actually played Majora's Mask for the first time. So I'm happy you did that.
Good. Now you have to go listen to the soundtrack.
Yeah. I'm going to actually.
I'm still angry about it. Can you tell?
And this one from friend of the show, Emmanuel. Never actually played the original N64 game, but the 3DS version is my favorite Legend of Zelda game. Gerudo Valley theme is one of the best songs in the game. In any game.
Yes.
Okay. Let's see what else I got here. All right, from Brian Spindler. I once beat Ocarina of Time, didn't remember that I did it until I got to the last boss, remembered, then shut the game off. I don't understand that.
Oh my god.
I don't get that. I don't get how you can, beat a game and have no memory that you beat it.
Yeah.
But then again, that does happen. not right that quickly. I've forgotten many games that I beat. That's why I keep a list. But all right, this one from Tim Smith. In 4th grade, I wrote the beginning Kokiri section, including Deku Dungeon and Lost Woods, in my creative writing story. And my teacher loved it and asked if she could submit it to a writing contest. Eventually, after stalling, I told her it was from a game I was playing. I kind of like that. All right, and then this one from Jomoru Turisu. I've been playing Ocarina of Time Randomizer for well over a year now. I played it so many times that I've forgotten where everything is in the normal game. Love this game so much.
Yeah, those randomizers will get you.
I've never played as a randomizer, and I have no interest to.
Yeah.
But they're fun.
I couldn't do it with a game like this. I could see it with like a Metrovania type game, but not something like this. All right, now I got some from the Zelda Hub group I'm going to read. From Jasmine Luis, all I can say is I hope when I die, I go to Majora's Mask. Okay. That's odd.
Oh, honey. Is she okay?
I don't know. Yeah. All right. From Crystal Whitlow. I remember being mesmerized by the title screen. I had no idea the adventure I was about to embark on would live on so deeply within me to this day. I always find myself going back to this game, even if I play for just a few minutes at a time. Some of my best memories live with this game. That's probably for a lot of people, though, because this is such a game that really just stayed with everybody.
Yeah.
All right, here's a good one from Joel Peters. I hate the owl with the fire of 1,000 suns. I try to bulldoze through his text because I have a kingdom to save, and inevitably end up clicking the option to hear his whole speech over again. I think my eyes harder than he rolls in his head. Hate him so much.
Same.
It didn't bother me this time. And last set of group I'm going to read from Legend of Zelda fans. From Michael London, a classic for sure. Yeah. And here's a good one from Katori Richardson. My mom introduced me to Ocarina of Time over 20 years ago. Came home from school one day and she was playing it, and since then I couldn't leave it alone.
Oh, that's so sweet.
I like when people, especially when, I feel like sometimes, our generation, like the parent didn't understand gaming as much for some people. So it's always like hearing stuff like that. Well, my parent didn't. My dad played games with me, but my mom didn't really understand games. But hey, she bought me a Super Nintendo, and that's what really made my love for games. So she did do that, which is wonderful. From Rachel Friend, my favorite random gen from this game. I love it. I love that when young Link uses the Highland Shield, he goes turtle.
That's a good way to put it.
From Alicia Cleland, I remember playing this so much that it would drive my brothers bonkers that they would hide it. I would watch them play it and still couldn't get through the water temple. All right, and last one I'm going to read from Michael Callan. One of my favorite games, 100% it, then tried to make it harder by beating only 3 hearts. No upgrade.
Wow.
Yeah, no way, no.
No.
But I think that's a cool thing that the game lets you do that. Like, you can choose if you don't want to get anything and do it that way. So, I think that's a very, I like the fact that it's there. So, all right, anything else we should say? Or I think we should go to Shelf or Box.
Yeah.
Just Shelf or Box?
Shelf Stacker Box is what the new thing that we're trying now for year 3 of the show, I guess you can say.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, all right. Explain.
So, Shelf is for the high-tier games that you want to have easy access to at all time. The box is for games that you don't need that. And then the stacks for games that you're probably going to play at some point, but they can just kind of sit in the stack of games next to the shelf. So they're still out, but they're not on the highest tier, I guess.
Mm.
So it's this nice gray area between Shelf or Box.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's something new we decided we should add for this show.
Yeah,
like
try and mix it up a little bit.
Like it.
All right, and Helena, why don't you go first for Shelf Stacker Box?
No, I don't think this is going to surprise anyone. Shelf, prominently in front, maybe framed, maybe get a signed copy. This is the game that started it all for me. So yeah, Shelf.
Okay. How about you, Mike?
So this is gonna go on the stack. I definitely understand why people love it and why it's praised so hard, but like I said before we start recording, I hate every temple in this game. I get lost so easily. And I think a lot of it just comes from them being 3D maps, because I've always been a 2D Zelda guy. So if I'm going to play a Zelda, it's going to be one of those, but I'm sure I'll play this again sometime. So I'll put it in the stack so I know where it's at.
Okay. And I'll go last. I'm going to put this on the shelf. As much as I still really love this game, I mean, will I play it anytime soon? Probably not for a few more years, but it always feels so good to go back to it. Before we did this podcast, I had meant to start it, replay it, and I just never, I would start it, but I would never get very far. I would just do the stuff with the child, and I just turn off the game. Then a year or two later, I'd go back and do the child thing again and turn off the game all over again. And it's just such a good game, though. But going through it for this and being able to talk about it, and now I am much more depressed about this game than I ever was before, thanks to Helena. But it is such a good game, and everybody should play it. I mean, unfortunately, it's not everywhere, I think. I mean, you can't get it on Switch like you should be able to because Nintendo, but you can get the 3DS version. You can find it for $20, which is well worth it.
Yeah,
I think it's on
definitely
the
best
shop.
way to play it.
Yeah, no, 3DS holds up way more than the original, I think, with a few quality life upgrades that really help. Also, the water temple's easier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A little bit. They changed because of I think they changed a couple things where you can't, and they got rid of that glitch. I think too. There's no glitch in the 3DS version that completely trapped your game.
Yeah.
All right, and I think that about wraps up this section. I think we should say what we're playing next week, though, and I'll announce it since it's my pick.
Mm-hmm.
We are going back to 2002 again, and we are playing Robotech Battle Cry because I wanted to. Because it's a game that I played as a kid, and I always wanted to finish.
Yeah, because young Mike liked it, so it must be good.
Yeah, Mike's not been wrong ever before.
Are you going to ask me what I'm playing next week?
What are you playing next week?
Games.
Got it. Nailed it. Games
with the people in my life.
I don't play enough games with people that are around me like Tiff.
Yeah.
I should do that more. All right, and anything, trying to think anything else. That about wraps up this episode. I should go to plugs. First, I want to thank Helena for joining us again for this game.
Oh, thanks for having me.
This game way more
always a
depressing
pleasure
than I ever thought.
You're welcome.
At least it's still less depressing than Deadly Premonition and some of the other games we played.
Silent Hill 2.
Yeah.
So, I want to give a shout out to our awesome intro and outro, courtesy of Bobby, aka Mike Stoney, from his EP Bite the Bullet, song to Cool Kid Squad. Definitely check him out on his YouTube channel. And if you enjoyed the show, we have tons of other game episodes we've done for you. We covered Majora's Mask in the early 20s. We covered Link to the Past episode 50. So, got some more Zelda for you to listen to. And also, we do comics, we do movies. We are currently going through the MCU movie and recently released Age of Ultron. And I think Ant-Man should be out around this time you're listening to this. I can't remember exactly when I'm doing that. But so definitely check those out. And please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. We are on YouTube now, and I need more subscribers. So definitely please subscribe there. And we will see you guys all next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.